When I dialed my oldest sister's number and confessed that I was her long-lost brother, I was fully prepared for her to hang up on me. But what I didn't know was, during the entire 15 years I was missing, Luo Jia didn't do what those cliché soap operas show and adopt a replacement boy to heal her pain. Instead, she searched for me like crazy for 15 years. So, when my oldest sister, who was in the middle of a multinational conference finalizing a billion-dollar deal, picked up the phone and heard the name Luo Yichin, her voice completely cracked as she lost control. "Did you just say your name is Luo Yichin?" But just a second later, she suddenly remembered the countless imposters who had shown up before, and even the scammers who used photos to get plastic surgery to look like me as a kid. My oldest sister instantly felt like a bucket of ice water had been poured over her head. The frantic excitement in her eyes completely cooled down. She gave a self-deprecating smirk. A family member they had searched for 15 years without a single clue. How could he suddenly, on his own initiative, deliver himself right to their doorstep? Right at that moment, she heard a soft sigh from my end of the receiver. "My name is indeed Luo Yichin, and according to the top-secret files I have on hand, I am indeed your biological brother who went missing 15 years ago. When are you free? Would it be convenient to go get a paternity test done directly?" My oldest sister's eyes darkened. After a moment of silence, she agreed without hesitation. "All right, where are you right now? I'll come find you myself." She calculated inwardly. He even managed to get my private number. Is he really my brother, or is this some dirty trick by a rival? Whatever, the truth will come out once we meet. Besides, what if it really is Xiaochen? At this thought, a glimmer of anticipation instantly surged in her clear eyes. Hearing her affirmative reply, I bluntly refused. "No need for the trouble. In half an hour, I'll meet you directly at the entrance of the Luo family's private hospital." Then, I hung up the phone decisively, pulled open the door of the black Maybach, and hit the gas, merging into the street. Half an hour later, at the entrance of the Luo family's private hospital, Special Assistant Zhang in the driver's seat turned to look at the back row. "Boss, do you think it's really the young master this time?" The coldness between my oldest sister's brows faded. "Whether it is or isn't, we'll know once the test is done." Even if it was just another false hope, Luo Jia would never give up searching. Over the years, despite being deceived time and time again, they never let a single clue slip by. If they heard there was a similar boy in any city, no matter how busy they were, the family would cancel their meetings and fly over personally. But right at this moment, having just parked the Maybach, I walked over and raised my hand to knock on the back window. My oldest sister rolled down the window, just about to ask a question, but the moment her eyes met my face, she froze as if struck by lightning. Seeing her staring blankly at me, I had to speak first. "Ran into a little trouble on the road. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes late." She frantically pushed open the car door, standing in front of me, babbling incoherently. It's fine. So similar. Really, way too similar." Under the sunlight, the young man standing before her in a white t-shirt and black cargo pants, his facial features were practically carved from the exact same mold as their father in his youth. My oldest sister had always been an extremely rational materialist. She only believed in cold, hard medical reports. In the past, when dealing with scammers who came claiming to be family, she could take them to get their blood drawn without batting an eye. Terrifyingly polite and distant. But the very second she met my gaze, a wild intuition screamed in her mind. "This is my biological brother." Her fingers curled slightly. The usually decisive and fierce female CEO was actually a bit flustered at this moment. "Were you the one who called me just now?" I looked at her like she was an alien. The intel didn't mention that my oldest sister was a stutterer. "Yeah, it was me." "So, can we go in now?" She seemed to instantly read the speechlessness in my eyes and frantically cleared her throat to hide her embarrassment. "Why, yeah, we can." "Then let's go in." I stepped into the lobby without any hesitation. My oldest sister stuck closely by my side. Our group headed straight for the paternity testing department. Seeing this, the department director immediately rushed over. "President Luo, you're here to do a test personally today," she ordered coldly. "Use the expedited channel. Get the results out as fast as possible." After saying that, she cleanly plucked one of her long hairs and handed it over. My eye twitched uncontrollably. I also raised my hand, yanked out a hair with the follicle intact, and handed it to him. The director carefully placed the samples into sterile bags, turning around to handle it himself. "Understood, President Luo. I'll get right on it." He muttered to himself, "This kid and Chairman Luo, they're practically carved from the same mold. I hope it's real this time. Otherwise, the machines in our department are going to start smoking from overuse." While waiting, my oldest sister hesitated for a long while, before finally turning her head to look at me. "It'll take at least 3 hours for the results to come out. Are you hungry? How about we go grab something to eat first?" I nodded decisively. "Then let's go." Inside the enclosed elevator, her tone carried a hint of probing. "What do you want to eat for lunch?" The Luo family has shares in that Chinese restaurant next door. Their signature braised pork ribs are excellent. Can we just go there for a quick bite? My eyes flickered slightly. Braised pork ribs were indeed my weakness. The head chef at Ruyi Pavilion abroad had been tortured by me countless times before he could finally make a caramel glaze that I found barely acceptable. I quickly pulled my thoughts back and gave a crisp reply. "Sure." Stepping into the VIP private room, my oldest sister immediately pushed the menu in front of me. "Take a look. What would you like to eat?" I glance at the braised pork ribs and the pineapple sweet and sour pork. You can just arrange the rest. With that, I pushed the menu right back to her. She keenly caught my gaze, lingering on the picture of the braised prawns for 2 seconds. She decisively added that dish and paired it with a few lighter dishes. I lifted my eyelids to look at her, a trace of confusion flashing in my eyes. She chuckled softly. If you want to eat something, just be bold about it. Your big sister will peel them for you. I froze for a second before muttering thanks. At that moment, the high-end waiter respectfully confirmed, do you too have any dietary restrictions? Scallions or cilantro? My oldest sister and I blurted out at almost the exact same second. No scallions. Absolutely no scallions in the food. The moment the words fell, we both turned our heads to look at each other. Looking a bit uncomfortable, I was the first to look away. But in my oldest sister's clear eyes, the light of certainty grew deeper and deeper. In her memory, her 4-year-old brother loved shrimp and sweet and sour flavors the most, but he never liked peeling the shells, always acting shamelessly to make his sisters do it for him. As for scallions, on the Luo family's luxurious dining table, they were an absolute taboo. After the private room door closed, she finally couldn't hold back anymore. How did you find me? You even managed to get my private line. I leaned back casually against the chair. I looked into it. I've got some connections under my belt, after all. However, this casual remark fell into my oldest sister's ears, and she instantly imagined a tragic melodrama in her head. A little boy in ragged clothes, moving bricks and carrying heavy sacks in the mud, throwing all his hard-earned blood money at top-tier detectives to investigate his origins. After all, ordinary detectives wouldn't have that kind of clearance. He must have suffered so much all these years just to find his way home. What a tragic fate. Her eyes grew slightly red. Then where have you been wandering all these years? Were you adopted by anyone? Have you been happy? I stayed silent for a few seconds before looking her straight in the eyes. After I turned 11, I was overseas. Life was passable. Her brows furrowed sharply. 11? But her brother clearly went missing at age 4. Those missing 7 years in between. What on earth did he go through? She was full of doubts, but terrified of touching a sore spot. She could only sit across from me, staring intently. Just as her stare was starting to give me the creeps, the food finally arrived. She quickly scooped me a bowl of thick soup, piled up a mountain of pork ribs, then put on gloves and started peeling shrimp like crazy. I had just swallowed my last mouthful of soup when a bowl full of peeled shrimp meat was pushed right in front of my eyes. My movements stiffened. Before my brain could even process it, my hand instinctively picked up a piece of meat and placed it on her plate. Thanks. You should eat too. Overwhelmed by the gesture, she stuffed the meat into her mouth, chewing with immense satisfaction. How did I never realize before that this pineapple sweet and sour pork was so delicious? After finishing our meal, we returned to the hospital. The department director, holding a document, pushed the door open, his face glowing red with excitement. My oldest sister shot up from her seat. How is it? What are the results? I also took the opportunity to lift my gaze and glance over. Even though I already knew the results would be absolutely accurate, at this very moment, I suddenly really wanted to see her genuine reaction. The director handed the report over with both hands. President Luo, I think it's best if you reveal the suspense yourself. She hurriedly flipped to the last page. Right above her fingertips, it clearly stated, similarity 99.99%, confirmed high match, consistent with a biological sibling relationship. The heart that had been hanging in suspense for 15 years finally settled back into her chest. This time, it definitely wasn't a dream. The brother they had searched for over 15 years was finally back. Her eyes instantly turned red. She suddenly lunged forward and hugged me tightly. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Xiaochen, thank you for being willing to come back. My instinct was to block and push her away, but hearing those words laced with a slight sob, my movements abruptly halted. My arms actually hugged her back unconsciously. Once her emotions settled, she wiped the tear stains from the corners of her eyes and asked softly, carefully, Xiaochen, will you come home with me? Someone cleans your room every single day. Everyone in the family has been waiting for the day you return. I nodded gently. Okay. Hearing this, she let out a long sigh of relief and raised her hand to messily rub my baseball cap. Good, let's go home. Meanwhile, at the Luo family's luxurious 1,000-square-meter villa, Mr. and Mrs. Luo, along with the second and third sisters, were all gathered in the living room. Second sister's fingers were moving frantically across her screen, spamming ultimate moves, while she grumbled in dissatisfaction, Mom, Dad, why did Big Sis suddenly call us to gather in the living room? What's this all about? I haven't even finished my ranked match yet. Third sister, wearing glasses, lifted her head from a sea of test papers, shot her a cold glare, and went back to grinding through her questions. Mom rolled her eyes at her second daughter in annoyance. Your oldest sister naturally has her reasons for doing this. It's you who finally gets a day off to come home, and all you do every day is sleep in and play video games. Second sister pursed her lips guiltily. She didn't dare talk back, nor could she win the argument anyway. Right at that moment, my oldest sister led me into the brightly lit living room. Hearing the footsteps coming from the entryway, the 4 people on the sofa looked up in unison. The second they clearly saw my face, Mom literally launched herself off the sofa, sprinting toward me without even putting on her shoes. The father and 2 daughters also rushed forward abruptly, Dad didn't forget to grab his wife's slippers in his hands when they dashed right in front of me. These few people were so anxious and flustered that they didn't even know what to do with their hands and feet. They could only look at my oldest sister in confusion. Seeing her nod heavily, Mom's psychological defenses completely collapsed. She pulled me into a tight hug and wailed, "Xiaochen, it really is my Xiaochen. I'm so sorry. I let you suffer out there for so many years. It's all Mom's fault. Mom never abandoned you. Mom has been looking for you this whole time, but I just couldn't find you. I'm sorry, Xiaochen." My muscles stiffened all over. I quickly shot a pleading look at my oldest sister beside me. As a result, not only did she play blind and refuse to bail me out, she actually gave me an encouraging, motherly look, smiling at me. I could only sigh inwardly. Fine. At crucial moments, you really just have to rely on yourself. But the most fatal problem was, these hands of mine only knew how to eliminate targets. I had absolutely no idea how to comfort people. I stood there awkwardly for a long time, before tentatively patting her shoulder. "You, please stop crying first, Mom." The moment this rusty address slipped out, Mom's crying did indeed subside a bit, but her arms were still wrapped tightly around me, refusing to let go. Dad stepped forward with red eyes, attempting to pull both mother and son into his embrace. As a result, he was met with a cold glare from Mom, who instead hugged her son even tighter, like a protective animal guarding its food. Dad looked full of grievance. "So this son belongs only to you? I don't even get a share?" Finally, my oldest sister couldn't stand watching anymore, and quickly spoke up to defuse the situation. "Mom, Xiaochen has been standing here for ages. His legs must be sore by now." Hearing this, Mom let go as if she'd been electrocuted, and dragged me toward the center of the living room. Right. Hurry. Come sit down. What are you blocks of wood still standing around for? Don't tire out my precious son. You're all grown up but don't have an ounce of situational awareness." Mom forcefully pressed me down onto the soft sofa, her hand still tightly gripping the back of my hand, refusing to let go. Her lips trembled several times. There was just so much she wanted to say, but she didn't know which sentence to start with. In the end, she could only keep shedding tears. Seeing her like this, a wave of sourness inexplicably welled up in my heart. My body's instinct moved faster than my reason. I reached back, grabbed a tissue from the coffee table, and wiped away her tears. At the same time, I keenly sensed several burning gazes from the side. Looking up, the father and two daughters were standing in a row, staring at me eagerly. I pursed my thin lips slightly, and stiffly spat out the titles. Dad, second sister, third sister. The tense faces of the three instantly bloomed into brilliant smiles. Dad took a big step around to the back of the sofa, reached out, and firmly pulled both mother and son into his arms, muttering with red eyes, "It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back." Third sister, with her superior IQ, she squeezed into the empty seat on my right, staring at me with burning eyes, and said, "Could I trouble you to roll up your right sleeve for a second?" Although I was full of doubts, I obediently did as she asked. Third sister immediately pressed her left arm against mine. The moment the two birthmarks perfectly aligned, her eyes curved into happy little crescents. When I finally understood this hardcore move, my mouth couldn't help but twitch violently. So this is the high IQ genius who got into the top-tier youth class? My right upper arm and third sister's left upper arm each had a birthmark that fit together perfectly. When put together, they formed a massive character. This also explained why the pinyin of the last character in our names all started with the letter Y. Second sister, who worked in the entertainment industry, looked back and forth, realizing she couldn't squeeze in at all. She was about to explode with anger. Turning around, she saw oldest sister looking completely relaxed and didn't forget to fan the flames. Oldest sister, Xiaochen, was the only one who didn't call you just now. Oldest sister elegantly crossed her legs, took a slow sip of her premium tea, and said, "Sorry to disappoint, but right after the paternity test came out, he already called me second sister." Second sister stared at her with wide, cartoonishly big eyes. "What the hell? What did you two do behind my back?" Oldest sister couldn't even be bothered to give her a side glance. Besides, how did you know it was Xiaochen who came to me first to acknowledge me? Oh right, at noon. Not only did he have a private lunch with me, he even served me food himself. This blatant humblebrag made second sister want to go on a rampage right then and there. But suppressed by the sibling hierarchy, she didn't dare act out. She could only silently pinch her philtrum to keep herself from passing out. Once Mom's emotions finally settled down, she couldn't wait to drag me upstairs. The remaining four women followed behind like little tails, trailing along in a grand procession. Stepping on the thick carpet, we arrived at the second floor. Mom kept chattering away. My nerves had been tense all day. All these years, Mom has kept your room exactly as it was. I had the nanny air it out and clean it every single day, just hoping that one day you would come back. Mom will take you to see it now. If you don't like it, I'll immediately have someone smash it and remodel it. Pushing the door open, I observed the room before me. A minimalist bedroom full of high-tech vibes. On the desk, an old photo of me as a child was placed neatly. A strange, warm current quietly slipped through my heart. Seeing that I hadn't said a word for a while, Mom thought it wasn't to my taste. She nervously clenched her palms tightly. "How is it, Xiaochen? Do you like it? If there's anything you're not satisfied with, Mom will get a construction crew to change it right now." I composed my expression and shook my head gently. "No need for the trouble. I like it a lot. Thank you, Mom." Mom grabbed my arm tightly, full of excitement. "As long as you like it, Mom will arrange for the top brands right now to bring over all the new season's clothes and sneakers. You can pick whatever you want, whatever catches your eye. I'll have them deliver it to the house immediately and completely stuff our 100 square meter walk-in closet. The hard ice in my heart inexplicably softened. Okay, thank you, Mom. Even though I wasn't lacking money under my name at all, nor was I lacking those limited edition sneakers, this feeling of being held in someone's palm without reservation, this feeling of being valued, actually seemed pretty nice. My oldest sister, highly perceptive, spoke up to control the room. How about we go downstairs first and let Xiaochen get some proper rest by himself for a bit? Seeing that Mom was still reluctant to leave, my oldest sister decisively threw out her trump card. Mom, Xiaochen has been out there for so long. He hasn't eaten your handmade braised pork ribs in ages. He used to crave that dish so much. Mom instantly woke up as if from a dream. Right. Mom will go to the kitchen right now and stew some ribs for you. You take a nap first. When dinner is ready, Mom will come up and call you. After saying that, she hurriedly dragged Dad out. The two sisters also tactfully slipped out the door. Walking at the very back, my oldest sister smiled at me gently, then stepped back into the hallway and softly closed the soundproof door. The room returned to silence. I reached out and gently stroked the old photo in the frame. An unprecedented sense of belonging welled up in my heart. And surprisingly, this feeling was exceptionally good. Relaxing my muscles, I fell back onto the large bed, facing the ceiling. I had just pulled out my phone when a video call from my best friend, Jiang Yuning, popped up with perfect timing. After connecting, Jiang Yuning shiftily scanned the area behind me, taking in the clear, cool white lighting in the background. Xiaochen, you successfully made it back to the Luo family? I gave a casual, yeah. My good bro Jiang Yuning wore an I knew it expression. I told you. With your temper, when have you ever used this color of bed sheets? Fess up. How's the experience? I raised my chin noncommittally. Barely passable, I guess. Enough messing around. Let's talk business. Hurry up and go to my private estate. Pick out some decent gifts and have someone send them over. I need them first thing tomorrow morning. Jiang Yuning clicked his tongue repeatedly in jealousy. TSK. Finding your family? This style is just different. Normally, I wouldn't even dare touch those treasures of yours, but now you're being so generous. All right then, how much stock do you need me to pull? My eyes darkened slightly as I thought seriously for a long moment. Just prepare them according to the standard specs. I really don't have much experience with this kind of thing. Anyway, the rule is simple. For the core members of both the Luo and Su families, one for each person. As for the meeting gifts for the younger generation, just arrange it as you see fit. While you're at it, pick out a little something nice for yourself. The guy on the other end instantly switched to a sycophantic tone. You got it, President Luo. I guarantee I'll set the stage perfectly for you. Delivered right on time tomorrow morning. I replied coldly. Yeah, hanging up. Then, without giving him any chance to keep spouting nonsense, I swiped my finger and cut the connection directly. Right now, sinking into the soft bed, I really felt drowsy. I soon fell into a deep sleep. I don't know how much time passed, but a very faint knock on the door suddenly sounded. My body's defensive instincts made me instantly snap my sharp eyes open. I sprang up from the bed. Before I could even make a sound, second sister sneakily pushed the door open a crack. The look in her eyes as she stared at me surprisingly held a deep, inexplicable sense of heartache. Are you awake? Xiaochen, the mall just sent over all the seasonal haute couture clothes. Do you want to come downstairs and pick a few? I quickly withdrew my cold, intimidating aura. Sure, I'll be right there. I turned into the bathroom and splashed my face with cold water. Then, I followed second sister's footsteps, walking downstairs at a leisurely pace. Second sister quickly stepped forward and casually threw her arm around my shoulder. Inside, she was screaming like a crazy marmot. My brother's muscle definition is insane. It's just, he completely lost that chubby, squishy feel from when he was a kid. Just as we reached the corner of the stairs, I saw the exaggerated setup on the first floor, and I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. In the massive, luxurious living room, there was a dense crowd of 20 or 30 high-end personal shoppers wearing white gloves. The rolling clothing racks stretched as far as the eye could see. Oldest sister was sitting on the leather sofa, looking down and reviewing documents on her laptop. Xiaochen, just take whatever catches your eye. If you really don't like any of them, that's fine too. Those people standing over there are a bespoke tailoring team flown in from abroad. Once they take your measurements, they'll custom make everything for you. For today, just pick a few pieces from this pile of ready-to-wear clothes to make do for a couple of days. I suppressed the speechless twitch of my mouth. All right. I quickly got to work, tossing out a few flashy, brightly colored pieces. The rest were all sorted by the shoppers into dark color palettes and neatly hung in my exclusive walk-in closet. After all the irrelevant people left, I just sprawled out on the sofa, too lazy to go back upstairs. Right at that moment, second sister, who was playing on her phone next to me, suddenly whispered mysteriously, Xiaochen, look up at my camera. I was looking down, scrolling through my phone, and instinctively glanced up. Second sister perfectly timed it and snapped a photo. She stared at the unedited photo in her gallery, which naturally radiated a clean, ethereal vibe. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. This jawline is a total killer. Xiaochen, can I post this god-tier photo on Weibo? I casually spat out 2 words, up to you. Awesome. Second sister instantly grinned like an idiot. eagerly opening Weibo and frantically typing out a post. I expressionlessly shifted half a step toward the other end of the sofa, trying to establish a safe distance from her. After all this, female celebrity really didn't look too bright. Finally, welcome home, my god-tier little brother. Because she was a top-tier superstar, this Weibo post hadn't even been up for 10 minutes before it skyrocketed straight to the #1 trending spot. 3 seconds. I need all the info on this ultimate hottie. This queen is getting a new husband. His bone structure is an absolute killer. Little brother's cold gaze is way too handsome. Pant. I'm drooling. I'd absolutely risk it all for a god-tier brother like this. Tiske. Miss Luo's severe brocon tendency have been completely exposed. The comment section was instantly flooded with congratulations and crazy thirst comments. But amidst this massive wave of traffic, there were also plenty of sarcastic keyboard warriors mixed in. Looking like that, are you sure he's your biological brother? I bet there's an 80% chance he's just a new trainee. The company is pouring resources into the push. Who knows where she picked him up to keep around, faking a little brother to trick the fans. Heh. Stop making things up. Even the Luo Group's official account hasn't said a word. This is definitely a fake pushed by corporate capital. You can tell at a glance he's just an assembly line product. He looks so fake. Totally plastic surgery. Luo Yunxi wasn't about to tolerate these malicious comments. She personally jumped into the fray to clap back. Pushing a rookie? The company exists for me. If I want to push a rookie for him, I'd gladly do it. I wanted to be the first to officially announce my brother. Got a problem with that? Don't go running your mouth if your brain is on backward. That's a serious issue. These siblings look like they were carved from the same mold. I wouldn't believe it if you said they weren't related. LMAO. Why would you even mess with her? Did you think her nickname Mad Dog of Huayun was a joke? When Luo Yunxi debuted, she never hid her identity as the second miss of the Luo family. Back then, when haters called her a resource hog, she didn't care. Anyway, once her works aired, her superb acting skills naturally slapped them in the face. She had also stated more than once in interviews that the reason she entered the entertainment industry was to find her little brother. She wanted to stand on the highest award podium, so her brother could see her and find his way home. I watched from the side. She was originally pretty happy, but now she looked like she wanted to eat her phone. I was a bit confused. Just as I was about to ask what was wrong, she looked up and yelled at Luo Yunshu, oldest sister, "Hurry up and have the company's official account announce our brother. They're all talking trash about him." Luo Yunshu took the phone, and upon seeing the malicious comments, a flash of ruthlessness crossed her eyes. She made a call to Special Assistant Zhang. "I'm sending you the paternity test results. Retweet the second Mrs. Post within 5 minutes. If it doesn't hit the trending list, buy its way up. Collect all the malicious comments and have the legal department sue them one by one." After hanging up, she reached out and patted my head. "Xiaochen, it's my fault for not thinking this through. I let you suffer a grievance, didn't I? I had no idea what was going on. What grievance did I suffer? But I could roughly guess that the netizens were probably saying some nasty things. So at this moment, shaking my head was the most practical response. Seeing my obedient look, Luo Yunshu felt even softer and more guilty. She directly asked Special Assistant Zhang for the official account's password and retweeted it herself, attaching the paternity test report. Luo Group V, the one and only young master of the Luo family. Just then, my phone let out a ding. I looked down and saw it was Jiang Ziru. She had screenshotted the Weibo posts from the Luo group and Luo Yunxi, along with some of the malicious comments. "Brother Luo, can we tolerate this? How about I step in on behalf of the company?" Seeing what my two sisters had done, my heart softened. The feeling of being protected by family actually seemed pretty nice, but I was never the type to just blindly accept things. Feelings have always been a two-way street. So, I replied, "Do it." After sending the message, Jiang Ziru felt a bit anxious. She regretted it as soon as she sent it, because she wasn't sure if I would agree. I might even scold her severely, but if I didn't agree, she could still secretly retaliate in some other way. First, have the legal department sue them. Then, dig up 8 generations of those people's ancestors. If there were any issues, she'd report them all in one go. Suddenly, a ding sounded, scaring Jiang Ziru so much she almost threw her phone. She covered the screen with her hand, leaving just a tiny slit to peek. Brother Luo agreed. I'm screaming. So, she immediately slammed the phone on her desk, notifying the legal and cyber departments to come in for a meeting right away. We've got work to do. Then she logged into Proto's official Weibo account and retweeted Luo Yunxi's post. Proto Consortium V. Congratulations to our boss on finding his family. Also, to the darlings who insulted my boss, please bathe, burn some incense, and wash your hands as you wait to receive my lawyer's letter. Damn. Holy crap, is this the Proto I'm thinking of? The #1 international consortium. Proto? So before the young master returned to his wealthy family, he was already a wealthy family himself. No way, bro. What kind of overpowered main character script are you holding? Stop messing around. They could have just slapped the lawyer's letter in your face, but they still called you darling. Be grateful. Thank God I didn't say anything. I'm so jealous of you guys. You get to receive lawyers' letters from both Luo Group and Proto at the same time. And so, the Weibo trending topics turned into Luo Group's young master returns, Luo Yunxi's biological brother. Found by the Luo family, young master is actually the big boss behind Proto Consortium. Luo Yunshu's phone rang. Special Assistant Zhang reported the trending situation to her. She stared blankly at me, Meanwhile, Luo Yunxi, who had been fighting with haters on Weibo, suddenly looked up and pointed at me. Xiao Chen, you. Luo Qinyuan had just come out of the kitchen to call everyone for dinner. Seeing his second daughter pointing at his precious son, he stepped forward and slapped her hand away. What are you doing? Why are you yelling at your brother for no reason? Luo Yunxi winced in pain and shoved her phone right in her dad's face. Dad, look at this yourself. Luo Qinyuan looked at the comments on the screen, and anger flared up inside him. What the hell is this? Are you useless? You're just gonna let your brother get cursed at like this. And Yunshu, if the Luo Group's legal team can't handle this, fire them all. No. Look at this. Luo Yunxi directly clicked open the Weibo post from Proto. Luo Qinyuan froze. He looked up at me. Xiao Chen, is this talking about you? I smiled. Yeah, Dad, this is a company I started a while back. The people in the living room felt a complex mix of emotions. If the Luo Group and Gu Group were the pyramids of Ha country, then Proto was at the very peak of the pyramid for the entire world. Founded just 4 years ago, it had already become the #1 international consortium, with branches in multiple countries. 4 years ago, I was only 15. Yet I had to face the wolves and tigers of the business world. But all I gave was a casual remark. A company I started a while back. I didn't mention any of the struggles in between. And at this moment, everyone finally understood that I really could live perfectly well on my own. If I hadn't taken the initiative to come back, they might never have seen me again in their entire lives. I could also feel right now that my sense of belonging to this family wasn't very strong yet. But that was okay. As long as I was willing to return to this family, that was enough. Seeing everyone's strange expressions, I couldn't help but wonder if I had been a bit too blunt. Just as I was about to speak, Luo Yunshu smoothed things over first. She teased, "Looks like I'll have to work hard to make the Luo Group stand shoulder to shoulder with Proto as soon as possible." Luo Qinyuan also chimed in, All right, let's eat first. Your mom has already finished cooking. She even made braised spare ribs for Xiao Chen. I'll go call your third sister." Luo Yunxi jumped up and ran upstairs. Seeing through everyone's thoughts, I reached out and held Luo Qinyuan's arm. Dad, no matter what, I am first and foremost your and Mom's son, before any other identity. Luo Qinyuan's nose stung with emotion. He patted my hand resting on his arm. Good. Dad understands. Luo Yunshu watched this scene with deep emotion. Xiao Chen, hurry and come eat. Mom made a huge portion of braised spare ribs just for you. Coming. Luo Qinyuan and I exchanged a smile and walked toward the dining room. All 3 sisters wanted to sit next to me, but in the end, they couldn't beat our parents. I sat between my mom and dad. Su Wanqing looked at the neat family of 6, smiling from ear to ear. It had truly been too long since they were all together like this. Luo Yunxi looked at the table full of dishes and curled her lips. Normally, when they were home, let alone making this many dishes, the chances of Her Majesty the Queen cooking personally could be counted on one hand. All right, this is blatant favoritism. Sexism. The Luo family didn't have the rule of no talking while eating or sleeping. Luo Qinyuan turned his head to look at me. Xiao Chen, are you fully focused on work now? I swallowed the rib in my mouth before answering. Dad, I rarely go to the company, so I'm actually pretty free. Su Wanqing, listening from the side, was completely lost. Xiao Chen started a company? That's amazing. What's the company called? Proto. Su Wanqing froze. Even though she didn't usually follow financial news, she still knew what the Proto Consortium represented. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Just then, Luo Yunshu asked, So, Xiao Chen, are you in school right now? Which school are you at? I'm not in school. I already got my Ph.D. 3 years ago, from Roster College in the UK. The sudden silence in the air was deafening. I looked up and saw that everyone had stopped what they were doing, staring at me with wide eyes. Third sister had attended the Youth Genius class, and she was only in her 2nd year of grad school now. Yet, I had already graduated with a Ph.D., and at the age of 16, no less, from the world's top institution, Roster College. Back then, Luo Yunshu had also applied to this school, but she narrowly missed getting in. What kind of monster was this? This was just unfair, but no one felt any extreme jealousy. They only felt proud and honored for me. In Luo Yunyao's eyes beside me, there was even a hint of worship. She adored the strong. I awkwardly rubbed my nose. If this was too much for them, I shouldn't mention that I also snagged a lifelong honorary professorship there. Forget it, I'll keep that a secret. Everyone chatted casually. Perhaps Luo Yunshu had given them a heads up beforehand, so they completely avoided talking about the 7 years before I turned 11. Luo Qinyuan suddenly spoke up. Xiao Chen, your grandparents on both sides also know you're back. So tomorrow we're heading back to the old estate to have a meal with both families. All right, I'm fine with whatever. I nodded. Don't worry, everyone is great, and they've all missed you very much. Luo Yunshu patted my head and introduced the family members to me. Early the next morning, Su Wanqing pushed open my bedroom door, wanting to check on me while I slept, but she found the bed completely empty. The bed was so neat there wasn't a single wrinkle. Su Wanqing hurriedly ran back to her room and yanked the sleeping Luo Qinyuan up. Old Luo, where's Xiao Chen? Where did my Xiao Chen go? Luo Qinyuan mumbled groggily. Xiao Chen probably isn't up yet. I went to his room and he wasn't there. Xiao Chen is gone. My Xiao Chen. Su Wanqing started choking up as she spoke. Luo Qinyuan jolted wide awake. How could that be? Did you check downstairs? Could he already be awake? No, I didn't. I panicked and came straight to find you. Su Wanqing snapped out of it and immediately bolted downstairs. Luo Chenyuan quickly grabbed her. Don't panic. Be careful not to fall. I'll go down with you. Meanwhile, having just returned from my morning run, I passed by the dining room and saw Luo Yunshu drinking coffee and looking at her laptop. As expected, being a big CEO wasn't that easy. Morning, oldest sister. Luo Yunshu looked up. Morning, Xiao Chen. Did you go for a morning run? Why are you up so early? My biological clock is used to it. I sat down across from Luo Yunshu. Aunt Wang walked over. Young master, what would you like for breakfast? We have both Chinese and Western options. Soy milk and fried dough sticks will be fine. Thank you, Aunt Wang. You're welcome. It'll be ready right away. Aunt Wang smiled as she walked back to the kitchen. The young master is so handsome, sensible, and polite. Just as Luo Yunshu was about to say something, we heard hurried footsteps coming from upstairs. We both looked up and saw our parents rushing downstairs in their pajamas. We exchanged a glance, stood up at the same time, and walked over. The moment she saw me, Su Wanqing's heart instantly settled. She threw her arms around me. Xiaochen, thank goodness, you're still here. I looked at Luo Chenyuan in confusion. What's wrong, Mom, Dad? Luo Chenyuan could only explain helplessly. Your mom went to your room and found you weren't there, so she got a little anxious. I instantly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I quickly comforted Su Wanqing. Mom, I'm just used to waking up early. I just got back from a run. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Don't be afraid, Mom, as long as you're here. As long as you're here. Su Wanqing gently stroked my back over and over again. I didn't let go until she finally calmed down. Eldest sister and I were just about to have breakfast. Do you and Dad want to go back upstairs and sleep a little longer? We're not sleeping. Your dad and I will go wash up right now. You go ahead and eat. No need to wait for us. After saying that, she pulled Luo Chenyuan upstairs, looking back at me with every step. Back at the dining table, Luo Yunshu spoke up to explain, Mom, she was just worried about you. Don't take it to heart. How could I? I won't overthink it, don't worry, sis. I shook my head. Just as we finished breakfast, Uncle Zhang walked in. Young master, there's someone outside looking for you. He says he's here to deliver something to you. I glanced down at my phone and saw that Yi Wu Yuan had just messaged me. Uncle Zhang, let him in. Just as I stood up, I noticed Luo Yunshu looking at me with a curious expression. It was kind of funny. Sis, if you're done eating, want to come take a look with me? All right then, I'll go with you. Luo Yunshu immediately stood up, as if terrified I'd changed my mind the next second. Such a grown woman. Why is she so tsundere? Walking out into the courtyard, I saw Yi Wu Yuan directing people to unload things from the car. Hearing footsteps, Yi Wu Yuan turned around. Brother Luo, I raised an eyebrow. Why did you come in person? I thought Jiang Yuning would just send some random guy. I just happened to be in the area. I missed you, so I volunteered to Brother Ning to come over. Yi Wu Yuan, standing tall at 175 centimeters, was smiling like an absolute idiot. Thank God he has a good face. After all, I'm a strict judge of character. Whether it's making friends or taking in subordinates, they all share one common trait. They have to be good-looking. Yi Wu Yuan spoke up. Brother Ning put name tags on everything. He said it'd make it easier for you to sort them out. After moving everything into the living room, I gave a slight nod. If you're staying in Jing City, you can go find Jiang Zi. Haven't arranged things for you. You got it. I'll slack off for a couple of days before heading back. After Yi Wu Yuan left, Uncle Jiang looked at the large boxes on the floor, a bit puzzled. Young master, should we move these to your room? I shook my head. No need. Just leave them here. I'll be taking them back to the old estate later. I opened one of the boxes and found it was exactly for their family of 6. I just moved it straight onto the coffee table. Sis, come here. Before Luo Yunshu could finish her sentence, I had already hauled the box up. Xiao Chen, this brother Ning is a very important friend of mine. His name is Jiang Yuning. We grew up together. When he has time to visit Jing City, I'll introduce you to. I didn't even look up, digging out the one with Luo Yunshu's name on it. I handed it over without a second glance. Luo Yunshu raised an eyebrow. This is a gift for me? I wondered what Jiang Yuning had prepared for her. It was just a sealed paper envelope with a palm-sized bulge on the outside. Luo Yunshu first pulled out the box inside. Opening it, she found a vintage diamond brooch. But why did it look so strangely familiar? She seemed to have seen it at an auction abroad. How much was it again? The winning bid was over 60 million. But why did she remember a woman winning that bid? Luo Yunshu pushed the box back to me. Thank you, Xiao Chen, but I can't accept this. Seeing this, I pursed my lips. Does sis really look down on my gift? Luo Yunshu quickly denied it. How could I? I just think it's too expensive. If you like it, just keep it. It's not like it's worth that much anyway. It'll just gather dust if I keep it. Besides, I have plenty more. Luo Yunshu was speechless. An 8-figure item is not worth that much. Just something to gather dust, huh? A limited edition, no less. I had no choice but to look at the other item in the bag. This is a contract. After flipping through a few pages, she suddenly looked up. What's wrong? I was a bit puzzled, tilting my head to look. The highest level navigation rights for import. Many of the Luo family's products have started doing export business, so our annual port expenses are quite high. Plus, Regular port inspections take up a lot of time. So, Jiang Yuning's gift really hit the mark. Luo Yunshu hesitated for a moment before asking, "Isn't this port closed to the public?" "It's mine. I usually just use it for myself, which is why it's not open to the public." Even though she had already guessed the answer, Luo Yunshu couldn't help but be shocked. "But it says free of charge here." Luo Yunshu pointed at a line on the contract. "Ugh. Come on, sis. It's just moving money from the left pocket to the right anyway. Just sign it. At worst, you can just give me a little extra allowance later." "What allowance?" "Xiao Chen. Are you short on money? Later I'll have your sister give you her unlimited supplementary card." Luo Chen Yuan and his wife, having washed up and come downstairs, happened to catch that last sentence. I looked back. "It's nothing, Dad. I was just joking with sis. You guys go eat breakfast." After saying that, I grabbed a pen from the coffee table and shoved it into Luo Yunshu's hand, shooting her a threatening glare. Luo Yunshu had no choice but to obediently sign her name. In her mind, she had already decided to transfer half of her shares to me. Once my parents finished breakfast, I handed them their gifts as well. "Xiao Chen, when did you go out to buy gifts?" Su Wanxing looked at the gift box a bit surprised. "I didn't. I had someone deliver them." "Hurry up and open it. See if you like it." Luo Qinyuan's was a jade thumb ring, while Su Wanxing's was a set of blue diamond jewelry. Su Wanxing held the jewelry set, absolutely adoring it. "This jewelry is so beautiful. Mom loves it." "Thank you, Xiao Chen. The thumb ring fits perfectly. The quality is top-notch, too. I've been looking for one like this for a long time. It really is better to have a son. I had 3 daughters, and I've barely received any decent gifts from them." As Luo Chenyuan spoke, he kept glancing at Luo Yunshu from the corner of his eye. Luo Yunshu rubbed her temple. So the gifts she usually gave were considered unpresentable. They were clearly in the 7 or 8 figure range, too. Fine. Even though they were indeed missing a 0 compared to this. Luo Yungxi and Luo Yunyao also came downstairs. Seeing so many people in the living room, they were a bit shocked. Luo Yunxi even marched straight up and grabbed my shoulders, looking me up and down, with a look of utter heartbreak. "Xiao Chen, it's only 8 a.m. Why are you already up? Don't pick up sis's bad habit of waking up early. It's not good for you. You should just sleep in until noon every day." Luo Yunyao shot her a sideways glance. "Let's not point fingers, all right? We literally came down at the exact same time." Luo Yunyao said faintly, "I was up all night doing practice problems. What about you?" Damn it, I can't out-argue her. So annoying. Seeing the box on the table, she deliberately changed the subject. "What's this? Why is there a box here?" Just then, Luo Chenyuan's breezy voice floated over from behind. "Gifts from Xiao Chen. Unlike some people who don't sleep at night and won't wake up during the day. Forget about gifts? I haven't even seen a gift box from them." Luo Yungxi winced. Careless. Picked the wrong target. So Luo Yungxi started blinking frantically at me. Hey, Xiao Chen, is there one for me?" I found it amusing. Of course there is. Everyone gets one. I pulled out her share and handed it to her. Judging by the shape, it was probably an accessory too. She opened it. Looks a bit familiar. Aren't these the cufflinks I designed? The one and only pair in existence, but I never even wore them. So this wasn't taken from the collection room? It was swiped straight from my walk-in closet. Woohoo! Cufflinks handmade by Master Y. I remember this was only mentioned once on their official website. It's not for sale. There's only one pair in the entire world. Looking at the iconic logo. It's so beautiful. Xiao Chen, how did you get your hands on this? Sis, your phrasing sounds a bit sketchy. We've collaborated before. He gave them to me. I subconsciously rubbed my nose. Everyone looked up. It was Luo Yunyao. She was looking at me with a slightly unnatural expression. "Xiao Chen, what about mine?" I jutted my chin toward the large box. "There. The rest of this entire box is yours." Luo Yunyao's eyes lit up. She pulled out the gift box with her name on it. Compared to the others, this size was definitely oversized. Opening it, it was actually from her idol, the math genius, a complete set of published books by Professor Spencer, and every single one was personally signed. "Thank you, Xiao Chen." Luo Yunyao hugged the books and ran upstairs without looking back. Yep, a total nerd who only cares about studying. I didn't even recognize what this was at first glance. It took me a while to remember. It was back when that old lady was stumped by a math problem. I was walking by after class and casually gave her a hint. After she solved the problem, she insisted on giving me a set of signed books. I don't get it. I kindly helped her solve a problem, and she repays me like this? I don't know where she got that bad habit. I'm not even a math major. TSK. Every single gift hit right at the heart of what they wanted. I don't even know who the real Luo family member is anymore. Me or Jiang Yuning. At this moment, Luo Yungxi noticed the 2 large boxes in the corner. "Xiao Chen, what are these? Are they gifts too?" "Yeah, I'm taking them back to the old estate later." Once everyone was ready, we prepared to head out. Arriving at the garage, Luo Yunxi saw my little black and started screaming again. "Xiao Chen, this voice of the night. Let me take it for a spin. Drive it if you want. Ask sis for the keys." Luo Yunxi was confused. Luo Yunxi was shocked. Luo Yunxi didn't understand. "It's your car. Why do I have to ask sis for the keys?" Luo Yunxi tossed the keys to her. "Because I drove it back yesterday." After getting in, Luo Yunxi didn't forget to pat the steering wheel and post a private moments update. The first person in all of Jing City to drive this car. Who else could it be but me? Her private WeChat was full of close friends and a few wealthy heiresses. This doesn't count as showing off wealth, okay? At most, it's just a little bragging. Hee. She really is a clever one. Sure enough, it drew a flood of envious and jealous comments, along with a bunch of kiss asses. Chumaksuan even video called her directly. Luo Yunxi glanced at the caller ID and just had Luo Yunyao answer it for her. Little Yao? Why is it you? Where's Luo the second? Luo Yunyao helplessly turned the camera around. Sister Xuan, she's driving. Seeing the car's interior and the logo on the steering wheel, Chu Moxuan lost her mind. No way, Luo II, you actually got to drive it? Although the Chu family wasn't as powerful as the Luo family, because Chu Moxuan's biological aunt was the Luo family's youngest aunt. The few of them grew up together and spoke very casually with each other. Luo Yunxi shot her a sideways glance. Could it be fake? But honestly, the feeling is just average. Not much different from what we usually drive. 4 wheels, 2 doors. Damn, you're really humble bragging right now, aren't you? I just saw this car yesterday. How do you know the owner? Introduce us. Let me touch it sometime too. Chu Moxuan's huge face filled the entire screen. Hey, the car belongs to our Xiao Chen. If you want to touch it, I'll ask him later. Hearing Xiao Chen, Chu Moxuan didn't react at first. She froze for a second, then finally realized it was the official announcement from the Luo group yesterday. Our family's little baby boy has been found, and that little baby boy is the behind-the-scenes boss of Putao. Now it seems he's also connected to Tinglan Courtyard, TSK. She had seen that little baby boy when they were kids. He was so soft and squishy. She just made him call her sister, and ended up getting beaten up by the 4 Luo sisters. And the 5th kid, Luo Yungkong, that little brat who couldn't even walk straight. He'd right on her. When I went missing back then, her aunt even went home crying, asking her grandpa to send people to help look for me. Snapping back to reality. Second, sis, when are you bringing our little brother out to meet us? He's my little brother. We're on our way back to the old estate. We'll talk when I have time later. Hanging up. After saying that, she frantically winked at Luo Yunyao, leaving Chu Moxuan wailing on the couch with her phone. She didn't forget to go to Luo Yunxi's moments and leave a comment. Hee. You're definitely the first person. Alright. When Gu Shiwan came downstairs, she saw a squirming biological entity lying on the couch. What's wrong with you? Hearing the voice, Chu Moxuan immediately scrambled up. That voice of the night we saw yesterday morning. Do you remember it? You mean the one that came out from across the street? Guess whose it is? Gu Shiwan sat on the couch, not even sparing her a glance. It's not yours anyway. I know. It's the Luo family's little baby boy. No, wait. It's the Luo family's young master who just came back yesterday. Gu Shiwan raised an eyebrow at her words but didn't reply. Chu Moxuan kept blabbering on. What do you think he's been doing all these years? At 19, he's the behind-the-scenes boss of Putao. And Tinglan Courtyard, even if it's not his, he's definitely heavily involved with it. The main point is, he owns my dream car. I have to sleep facing the right direction just to dream about it. The Luo family's young master, she remembered going to pick up Luo Yunshu from school when they were kids, and that little baby boy. And the trending topic she saw last night. He's gotten a bit thinner, but he's still just as cute. The Luo family's old estate was located halfway up the mountain. After several expansions, it was now a luxurious manor. Grandpa Luo and Grandma Luo only had my dad, Luo Qinyuan, and my youngest uncle, Luo Chenxiao. Back then, my uncle chose to go into politics, so my dad took over the Luo group from Grandpa Luo and expanded it into what it is today. Later, they both started their own families, got married, and had kids. There was none of that scheming and backstabbing you see in other wealthy, aristocratic families. It's not like we have a throne to inherit. What's the point of fighting? We can't spend all this money anyway. It's just a number. Therefore, the brothers were united, and the sisters-in-law got along harmoniously. Every month, everyone would return to the old estate to stay for a while and spend time with the elders. Although the 2 Luo elders never had a daughter, they ended up with a whole string of granddaughters. Once the novelty wore off, they started wanting a soft, well-behaved little grandson. Ideally, they wanted both boys and girls. After my parents fell in love, they first had my eldest sister, Luo Yunshu, and my second sister, Luo Yungxi. My uncle and aunt were childhood sweethearts. They were desk mates in elementary school, and right after high school, my uncle tricked her into getting engaged. In their second year of marriage, they had my cousin, Luo Yunfan. So, when they found out my mom's 3rd pregnancy was twins, everyone's excitement went without saying. That's why they bought 2 sets of all the baby supplies. If the boy turned out to be a girl, with so many older sisters, she could just wear their hand-me-downs. When Su Wanqing gave birth and they realized it was a boy and a girl, everyone was overjoyed. One boy is fine, better than none at all. Looking at the pink, chubby little me, the elders showered me with gifts like they were free. From private islands and real estate down to a prince-themed nursery, tiny suits, luxury watches, and cufflinks. Just a few days old, and my net worth had already broken 100 million. As for the Su family, my eldest uncle and aunt also had 2 daughters, so you can imagine how spoiled I was. As soon as the car drove into the manor, I saw quite a few people waiting at the entrance of the main building. Almost all the family members were there, with a row of servants standing behind them. Seeing this grand spectacle, I froze for a moment. Perhaps sensing my thoughts, Su Wenqing patted my hand reassuringly. Don't be nervous. Everyone just missed you so much, so they all came back today, except for Xiao Kong, who just started his senior year and couldn't take time off. He won't be back until after school. Don't worry, Mom. I'm fine. I smiled back and opened the car door. As soon as I stepped out, 2 old ladies in qipaos trotted over. The next second, I was pulled into a tight hug. Xiao Chen, my Xiao Chen. I hugged the 2 old ladies back. Grandma, it's so good that you're back. You must have suffered a lot all these years. Look how thin you are. We need to fatten you up. After saying that, the 2 of them kept holding on to me, refusing to let go. Grandpa Luo couldn't stand it anymore. Ahem. All right, that's enough. Don't scare the kid. I haven't even gotten a hug yet. Grandma Luo glared at him. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. The younger generation was secretly laughing. Grandpa Luo rubbed his nose to cover his embarrassment. Who would have thought that the renowned and fearsome old master Luo Hongzi was actually henpecked? I let go of them and greeted the family members one by one. Grandpa, Su, Uncle, Aunt, Uncle Su, Aunt Su, Little Uncle, and my 3 sisters. Hello, Xiao Chen. Everyone beamed with joy. Grandpa Luo even shot a boastful look at Grandpa Su. Xiao Chen called me first. Grandpa Su didn't even look at him. I'm happy today, so I won't bicker with you. These 2 old men had disliked each other since they were young. The Su family was a family of scholars. Grandpa Luo thought Grandpa Su spoke too pedantically, and Grandpa Su thought Grandpa Luo was too loud. It's a miracle they haven't fought all these years and actually became in-laws instead. Truly a miracle. Little Uncle Su Siyuan secretly grumbled to himself. When I called him, he even said 3 words. You guys are all just younger sisters. Luo Chenyuan, standing to the side, spoke up. All right, let's go inside first. Xiao Chen even prepared gifts for everyone. Uncle Zhang, get a few people to help move them. Entering the living room, I distributed the gifts to everyone. Every single gift was perfectly chosen. Xiao Chen. Xu Manning came out of the kitchen carrying a tray. She walked up and held my hand, her eyes slightly red. Xiao Chen, Auntie, remembers. You used to love the osmanthus cake and ginger milk pudding I made. I prepared them for you early this morning. I don't know if you still like them now. Do you want to try some and see if the taste has changed? Xu Manning had always wanted a son, but she had a daughter. Her in-laws and her own brother and sister-in-law all had daughters too. She was destined not to have a son in this lifetime. It was a distant dream. Fortunately, her sister-in-law later gave birth to a chubby little boy, so she had always treated me like her own son. All these years, she had always been heartbroken over my disappearance, and used a lot of her connections to look for me. Hearing this, I took a bite of everything. I love it. Thank you, Auntie. As long as you like it. Auntie will make it for you again some other day. Our Xiao Chen has grown into such a fine young man. It's so wonderful. Xu Manning gently stroked my head. Luo Chenyuan, standing nearby, spoke up. The reason I called everyone back this time, besides seeing Xiao Chen, is for another matter. I want to host a welcome home banquet for Xiao Chen. Even though many people online already know, we still need to make an official statement, just in case some blind fools in our circle I think we don't value him, and end up offending Xiao Chen. Hearing this, Grandma Luo slammed her hand on the table, declaring fiercely, we absolutely must, and it has to be a grand affair. The precious golden grandson of our 2 families cannot be looked down upon by anyone. The business elites who conquered the world alongside Grandpa Luo back in the day were no simple characters. Just because she wears a qipao and covers her mouth with a handkerchief when she laughs, people think she's mellowed out and turned into a soft persimmon they can easily crush. The Su family members also chimed in their agreement. Only Grandpa Luo sat to the side without saying a word. Seeing that they had all started discussing the banquet, Grandpa Luo stood up. Xiao Chen, come with Grandpa to the study. Okay, Grandpa. I stepped forward, supported Grandpa Luo, and walked upstairs. Upon arriving at the study, Grandpa Luo took a document out of the drawer and pushed it in front of me. This is something Grandpa decided on when you were born. I originally planned to give it to you on your coming-of-age ceremony. I didn't expect it to be a year late. I opened it and took a look. It was a share transfer agreement. All the shares under Grandpa Luo's name, all of the Luo Corporation's shares, a full 15%, all given to me. Grandpa, I can't accept this. Grandpa Luo interrupted me. Why can't you? Grandpa said it's yours, so it's yours. No one else has any objections, and it's not their place to decide anyway. I felt a bit helpless. Grandpa, you know that's not what I meant. I'm not short on money. Grandpa Luo's eyes widened in a glare. What do you mean you're not short on money? So you're looking down on this little bit of stuff from Grandpa. Grandpa. I had no choice but to sign my name at the end. Grandpa Luo smiled in satisfaction. Xiao Chen, do you know how to play chess? It's still early. Play a game with this old man. I helped him sit down by the chessboard. After sitting down, I raised my hand, gesturing for Grandpa Luo to take the black pieces and go first. Ashu gave us a heads up beforehand, saying that you lost your memory. She told us not to ask about your past, whether you really lost your memory or just don't want to talk about it. Grandpa won't ask for the details, but Grandpa still wants to know if you've been doing well. My movements paused for a second. I casually placed a chess piece down. I've been pretty good. It's all in the past anyway, right? Good, it's all in the past. From now on, our Xiao Chen will only get better and better. Now that you're back, just go all out and do whatever you want. You have the Luo family and the Su family behind you. You're no longer alone. A trace of warmth flowed through my heart. I know. Thank you, Grandpa. What's there to thank your grandpa for? If you ever need anything, just come to the elders in the family. If those guys are useless, come find me. My Xiao Chen won't be bullied by anyone. Looking at the old man's encouraging and somewhat expectant gaze, I hesitated for a moment. Grandpa, how much do you know about Song's building materials? Song's building materials? You mean that second-rate family that used to be the Jiangs? At this, a clear look of disgust appeared on Grandpa Luo's face. That Song Han is just a gold-digging parasite who preyed on a family with no male heir. Back then, the Jiang family's only daughter took a liking to him, so he married into their family. But then the Jiang parents died in a car crash, and soon after, his wife passed away from illness, leaving behind a son and a daughter. Before his late wife's bones were even cold, Song Han directly changed the Jiang Corporation's name to Song, and brought his mistress and their 2 kids into the house. Rumor has it that illegitimate son is even a few months older than the Jiang family's young master. Not long after that, news came out that the 2 Jiang children had run away from home. If you ask me, he and that mistress definitely got rid of them. That little daughter was a year younger than you. She was only 3 at the time. How could she possibly run away? Grandpa Luo paused mid-sentence, quickly realizing something. Speaking of which, those 2 kids went missing the exact same year you did. To be precise, it was the exact same day, in the exact same car. Grandpa Luo felt his mind explode with shock. But back then, we checked the park's security footage and only saw you being kidnapped into a car with fake plates. We didn't see any other children, I said with a calm expression. They were both drugged and lying in the car. Of course you couldn't see them. Grandpa Luo's voice trembled slightly. So you were just collateral damage. It was all that Mistress is doing? Based on the information I've gathered so far, it's because I witnessed them selling the kids, so they had the traffickers take me away too. They probably didn't know I was from the Luo family. Grandpa Luo slammed his hand on the table in fury. Our family is on a level he couldn't reach even if he worked for 8 lifetimes. A pathetic gold digger, and a shameless mistress who belongs in the gutter. Xiao Chen, I'll have your eldest sister make a move right now. We'll ruin him by the end of the day. I felt a bit helpless. Grandpa, don't get so worked up. I want to do it myself. I've already gathered all the evidence. I'm just waiting for the right moment. What's there to wait for? Do we need to check the almanac to ruin him? If I had known this was the case, they would have been kicked out of Beijing 15 years ago. I couldn't help but think to myself, just a moment ago, he was a calm and composed old man, telling me to just go ahead and do whatever I wanted. How did he suddenly turn into such a grumpy old geezer? Yeah, more like a domineering grandpa ready to bankrupt the Songs. I quickly tried to soothe him. Grandpa, the Song Corporation can disappear at any time. That's not an issue. But the Jiang Corporation needs to return to the ranks of first-tier families. Hearing this, Grandpa Luo finally calmed down a bit. You have a point. As for those 2 kids, Jiang Ziru is managing things for me now, and Lu Tong also returned not long ago. Brother Jiang Yingchen. He passed away 9 years ago to protect me and Jiang Ziru, so taking back the Jiang Corporation is a promise I made to him. It has to be done by me and Jiang Ziru personally. I lowered my eyes, hiding the flash of hostility in them. Grandpa Luo was stunned when he heard this. He sighed deeply. If that's the case, then it's our Luo family that owes the Jiangs. Don't think like that. The bond between the few of us has long surpassed things like that. Anyway, the 2 of us have to do this ourselves. Grandpa Luo gave me a helpless glare, but there wasn't a trace of anger in his eyes. Fine, Grandpa won't interfere. Do you want to tell Grandpa about your plan? I raised an eyebrow. The Song Corporation signed a massive overseas order last week, and they've already started selling off their assets. As for the rest of them, I have plenty of evidence of their illegal activities. They're all going to prison. Grandpa Luo burst into laughter after hearing this. He pointed a finger at me in the air. Ha ha ha, you're an absolute little fox. Since that's the case, would the welcome home banquet be a good time to expose their true colors in public? I was taken aback. Grandpa, if we do that, wouldn't it ruin Grandma and Mom's hard work? You didn't say anything downstairs earlier. Were you just thinking whether to make your move before or after the banquet? Worried it would affect the Luo family. The Luo family isn't that fragile. Besides, we're family. The way Grandpa sees it, you should just settle it all at once on that day. Consider it making a clean break with the past. With the evidence right in front of everyone, no one will criticize you for taking action. We will always have your back. The family would never blame me for such trivial things. Suddenly, my eyes felt a little sore. Ever since Jiang Yingchen died, I hadn't shed a single tear. But in just these few short days since coming home, I've felt the urge to cry several times. Chech, I must be sick. When Jiang Yuning gets back, I'll have him check my pulse. Grandpa Luo pretended not to notice and sighed emotionally. Actually, when you were little, your grandma always thought about handing the Luo family over to you in the future. I didn't agree. I figured, how could our little prince do all this dirty and tiring work? Wouldn't it be better to just stay home and spend money? So we decided to choose from among your sisters. But those bratty girls all pretended not to understand. In the end, it was Yunshu who stepped up. She has indeed done a great job, but looking at it now, she's not as capable as you. You have a ruthlessness that she lacks. Eldest sister is amazing. The company is doing great in her hands. But Grandpa, if you keep chatting, you're going to lose this game of chess. Grandpa Luo abruptly looked down. His white pieces had been completely surrounded by my black ones, but with my last move just now, the situation instantly reversed. The white pieces had carved out a bloody path, surviving from the brink of death. Wow, you were throwing up a smokescreen for Grandpa. This round doesn't count. I'm hungry. Let's go downstairs to eat. Grandpa Luo stood up, shamelessly trying to back out of the game, but I could tell. There was a hint of complexity in his eyes. Chess is like life. He was probably thinking, was I like this in the past too? Surviving from the brink of death. I played along, stepping forward to link arms with him. All right, I'll go easy on you next time. Hey, this old man doesn't need you to go easy on him. I just didn't see clearly and used the wrong strategy. Grandpa Luo stubbornly insisted. Yes. I was just lucky. Grandpa and I pushed open the study door, ready to head downstairs, when we saw Luo Yunshu coming up. Grandpa, Xiaochen, it's time to eat. Coming, eldest sister. Grandpa Luo patted my hand. When you have time some other day, bring the Jiang girl over to the house for a visit, okay? I also have a good friend named Jiang Yuning. The few of us have been together all these years, but he's been abroad lately. When he gets back, I'll invite him too. Ha ha ha, good. From now on, you're all children of the Luo family. The two of us, grandfather and grandson, walked happily in front, leaving Luo Yunshu trailing behind, looking a bit lonely. Eldest sister was probably grumbling in her heart. Home flowers aren't as fragrant as wild ones. After lunch, my reliable older sisters all had things to do and left first. The elders either took their afternoon naps or went to work, leaving just the three of us siblings sitting idly in the living room. Luo Yunxi suddenly sat up like a dying patient springing to life, bouncing off the sofa. Why don't we go out and play? Luo Yunyao and I looked up at her, then lowered our heads. No, you guys, what's the meaning of this? Your second sister here is known as the Little Witch of Beijing. Are you looking down on me? Luo Yunyao sneered. What's so fun about going out with you? Counting how many security cameras we encounter. From the moment we leave the house until we get back. Ecchi, I know how to disguise myself. Okay, we can just go somewhere indoors. How about we go to Comet? Sister Gu's place has great privacy. Luo Yunxi slapped her thigh excitedly. Luo Yunyao looked at me. If Xiao Chen goes, I'll go. So second sister clasped her hands together and looked at me. Xiao Chen. If second sister doesn't go out and play soon, I'm really going to grow mold. I had no choice but to nod. Then let's go. Yes, let's go. Luo Yunxi linked arms with both of us and dragged us out. When we arrived at Comet, Luo Yunxi was wearing a mask and sunglasses, wrapping herself up like a mummy. She sneaked in looking super suspicious. It was a good thing the lobby manager was already used to her getup. Otherwise, he probably would have had security throw her out long ago. Second Miss Luo, the usual for you today. Waving away a nearby waiter, the manager went straight up to greet her. Luo Yunxi nodded slightly. It's just the three of us today. Just arrange something fitting. No alcohol. Just as third sister and I walked into the lobby, the sharp-eyed manager spotted us. This must be third Miss Luo and eldest young master Luo, right? You all look so much alike. Don't worry, everyone. I'll make the arrangements right away. I was speechless inwardly. Bro, they're fraternal twins, and I'm not even from the same womb as them. How do we look alike? But I still nodded without changing my expression, and walked into the elevator. As soon as we entered the private room, Luo Yunxi grabbed the microphone. Xiao Chen, you haven't heard second sister sing yet, have you? Second sister will sing for you. Beside her, Luo Yunyao was frantically shaking her head and waving her hands, but she was a step too late. As soon as Luo Yunxi finished speaking, she started howling. No one ever told me that my top-tier celebrity sister was only top-tier in the acting world. It's one thing to be completely tone-deaf, but why did she have to pick Tibetan Plateau? Luo Yunyao had already started pulling out tissues. She handed me a whole strip. The two of us exchanged a helpless glance, and in perfect unison, stuffed the tissues into our ears. When she finished singing and turned around, how was it, Xiao Chen? Second sister sings pretty well, right? My expression was unnatural for a split second. You sang great. Just don't sing next time. Why? Did you not like it? Then next time, second sister will sing some J-Cho for you. I still remember you said. No, second sister. I'm just worried that the people next door will hear. Our happiness might disturb them. Luo Yunxi waved her hand dismissively. It's fine. The soundproofing here is amazing. Just as she was about to say something else, my phone rang. Glancing at the caller ID, I stood up. I'm going out to take a call. Just as I stepped out of the room, I could faintly hear Luo Yunyao complaining through the crack in the door. You sing like a dying animal. Don't you know that? How do you have the nerve to keep yapping? Followed by Luo Yunxi's retort. You just don't know how to appreciate real art. Look at how much Xiao Chen liked it. Hearing the backing track start up again inside, I walked down the hallway before answering the phone. What is it? At this moment, the obedient facade I wore in front of my family vanished, and my tone carried a hint of ruthlessness. After listening to the person on the other end, I smirked. You're pretty well informed, huh? Are you spying on me? I'm busy lately. Wait until after my welcome home banquet. It hasn't been set yet, so I don't know the exact date, but it'll be soon. I know. I won't forget to send you an invitation when the time comes, but it's best if you don't come. All right, hanging up now. I'll let you know when it's time. Hanging up the phone, I turned around and headed back toward the private room. As I passed by one of the rooms, A drunk guy in a dress shirt stumbled out. The buttons on his shirt looked like they were about to burst. He swayed unsteadily into the hallway. When he saw me, his eyes, which were normally just slits, widened just a tiny bit. Where did this little hottie come from? Did you get dumped by your sugar daddy? Want to jump into my arms instead? With that, the drunkard reached out to touch my face. Before she could get her wish and touch me, I reached out and grabbed her wrist. I looked up, staring unblinkingly at the drunk. Her scalp went numb under my icy glare. Just as she was about to say something, I twisted her arm behind her back. You little brat, doing things the hard way, huh? Do you know who I am? I'm Jiang Min, the general manager of Crescent Entertainment. Ever heard of Crescent Entertainment? It's your blessing that I've taken a liking to you. I let go of her hand. An entertainment company manager? The kind of entertainment company that operates in the gutter? Jiang Min thought I was scared and puffed out her chest. Scared now, aren't you? If you ask me, you should just obediently follow me. Who knows? If I'm in a good mood, I might let you into showbiz and make you a B-list star. Crescent Entertainment? What's that? I've never heard of it. With that, a bloodthirsty smirk curled on my lips. I grabbed her greasy head and slammed it straight into the wall. Jiang Min saw stars. You're dead meat. Just you wait. Sure. With that, I slammed her head a few more times. Bang, bang, bang. Young master, I was wrong. I was wrong. Please spare me. Jiang Min's legs gave out, and she slid down the wall, collapsing onto the floor. I bent down and wiped the hair gel from my hands onto Jiang Min's clothes. Without even turning my head, I said, have you seen enough? Just then, a lazy, teasing female voice came from behind me. Little kid, fighting is wrong. You know. I turned around and couldn't help but light up at the sight. Standing in the corner was a woman, about 24 or 25 years old. She had lazy, voluminous wavy hair, with deep, striking facial features. Her peach blossom eyes looked so affectionate they could make a dog swoon, and right now, they were looking at me, full of amusement. My gaze drifted down to the black Buddhist prayer beads on her wrist, which made her hands look even more pale and slender. I have to say, this woman is absolutely, exactly my type. Those legs, that waist. Damn. Gu Shiwan probably noticed me checking her out and started walking toward me. Just as I was about to speak, Jiang Min, who was lying on the floor, seemed to have found her savior. She crawled toward the woman. President Gu, save me. I'm the sales manager of our Crescent Entertainment, Jiang Min. I just saw that he had great potential and wanted to ask if he was interested in entering the entertainment industry. But he just started beating me up without a word. You have to stand up for me. The Gu family, on par with the Luo family. Recalling the sister Gu my second sister had mentioned, it seemed this comic club belonged to her too. Interesting. I raised an eyebrow, leaning against the wall and watching her without saying a word. Gu Shiwan didn't even spare a glance at the lump of fat on the floor. She pulled a handkerchief from her suit pocket and handed it to me. Don't use your hands next time. It's too dirty. Are you trying to make excuses for your subordinate? I glanced at the handkerchief but didn't take it. Gu Shiwan let out a soft, seemingly helpless chuckle. She took out her phone and made a call, telling 2 people to come up to the top floor. Also, fire the sales manager at Crescent named Jiang Min. Put the word out. Whoever hires her is going against both the Gu and Luo families. You actually know who I am? Gorgeous. That's not very nice of you. Why drag my Luo family into this? I curled my lips into a smile. Gorgeous? Gu Shiwan was clearly taken aback, then replied, My name is Gu Shiwan. We're in the middle of an argument. Why are you introducing yourself? I couldn't help but laugh. I am Luo Yichin. Gu Shiwan pushed the handkerchief forward a bit more. I was just worried the Gu family's name wouldn't be enough, so I wanted to borrow young Master Luo's influence. Is young Master Luo satisfied with how I handled this? It was alright, I guess, but my hands hurt. I'm tired from hitting her and don't have the energy to wipe them. How about you wipe them for me, gorgeous? I held both my hands out in front of her. Hearing this, Gu Shiwan froze for a moment. Young Master Luo, I'm afraid that's inappropriate. Forget it then. I'll just wash them myself later when I'm not so tired. With that, I was about to pull my hands back, but Gu Shiwan, as if sighing in defeat, grabbed my hands. She carefully wiped my fingers one by one. Her gaze fell on my hands, perhaps thinking my hands were a bit too thin. Hearing this, Jiang Min probably finally realized who I was. Young Master Luo, I was blind and didn't recognize you. Please spare me. Spare me this once. It was all a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. I cursed inwardly. You're the one wearing cheap knockoffs. My outfit is a custom 300,000 yuan suit, and you thought it was some off-brand trash? Before I could dodge her, Gu Shiwan kicked her straight away. Shut up. Jiang Min was instantly silenced, slumped there, not daring to make a sound. I tickled Gu Shiwan's palm. They're clean enough, aren't they? If you keep wiping, you're going to rub my skin off. Gu Shiwan let go of my hands, just as she was about to say, if you have time later. She was interrupted by third sister Luo Yunyao's voice. Xiao Chen, why are you still standing outside? I walked over to her. Third sister, I saw her bullying someone, so I was teaching her a lesson. That's not right. Hearing my words, Gu Shiwan smiled faintly. Luo Yunyao got a clear look at the woman's face and froze. Sister Gu, I'm sorry. My brother might have misunderstood. Gu Shiwan smiled. It's fine. I was the one who startled him. Let's have dinner together tonight, as my apology. Luo Yunyao warily pulled me behind her. That won't be necessary, Sister Gu. We have to go pick up Xiao Kong from school later and head back to the old estate for dinner. Gu Shiwan looked a bit disappointed. All right then, we'll make plans next time you're free. Then we'll be heading in first, Sister Gu. With that, without waiting for Gu Shiwan to reply, third sister dragged me away. I turned my head, waved at Gu Shiwan, and even blew her a kiss. Once my sister and I were back in the private room, the aura around Gu Shiwan instantly shifted. She glanced at the person on the floor, dragged her out. The two security guards, who had been watching their boss wipe someone's fingers for half a day, finally breathed a sigh of relief and quickly dragged the woman away. Gu Shiwan fiddled with the handkerchief in her hand, lost in thought. She turned and headed back to her office on the top floor. Facing a mountain of documents, Chu Moxuan, whose head was about to explode, saw her walk in and couldn't help but wail. Sister, boss, you're finally back. Who takes an hour just to smoke a cigarette? Where couldn't you smoke? Or did you go all the way home to smoke before coming back? What time does your sister get out of school? Gu Shiwan ignored his complaints and sat down on the sofa. Chu Moxuan was confused by her question. I don't know. I've never picked her up before. If you don't know, ask. You're going to pick her up from school later. Wait, sister, why the hell am I picking her up? The family driver will go get her. Chu Moxuan was completely baffled. Gu Shiwan shot him a look, and he immediately surrendered. I'll ask right now. Today I'll be a good brother and go pick her up from school. Chu Moxuan called the Chu family driver, asked for Chu Motong's dismissal time, and informed him that he would personally go pick up Chu Motong. Afterward, he looked at Gu Shiwan with sparkling eyes. She gets out at 5:30. It's 4:30 now. If I don't leave now, I'll hit traffic. These documents. I'm leaving. We'll deal with the documents tonight. Gu Shiwan stood up and brushed off non-existent dust from her clothes. Chu Moxuan's brain couldn't process it for a second. Sister, didn't you tell me to go pick her up? I'm going with you. Cut the crap. Oh, okay. Coming. It wasn't until he got in the car that Chu Moxuan finally realized something. That was his sister, right? His biological sister. Why the hell was Gu Shiwan coming along? On the other side, as soon as I got back to the private room, Luo Yunyao looked at me earnestly and warned, Xiao Chen, if you ever run into Sister Gu in the future, don't get too close to her, understand? Why? I raised an eyebrow, not expecting her to say that. Xiao Chen ran into Sister Gu? Hearing this, Luo Yungxi looked up. Luo Yunyao nodded, looking a bit hesitant to speak. We just happened to run into her teaching someone a lesson, and then he was even lectured by Xiao Chen. Holy crap. Luo Yunxi's expression became complicated. Xiao Chen, listen to your second sister. This Sister Gu, she's androphobic. She doesn't like guys getting too close to her. Plus, she's fierce. So stay away from her if you can help it, got it? That person just now is named Gu Shiwan. The Gu family is on the same level as ours, but the Gu family has always been simple. She's their only heir. Don't be fooled by her usually playing with prayer beads and worshipping Buddha, looking all aloof and untouchable. In reality, she's a very ruthless and calculating person. The most important thing is her androphobia. Other than her family, no man has ever been able to get within a meter of her. But she's not the type to just hit people for no reason, haha. Usually, it's the other party's fault, so you don't need to be too scared of her. Just keep your distance if you run into her. Okay, third sister. I got it. I nodded obediently, lowering my eyes to hide the golden glint in them. Androphobic? I don't think so. I'm suddenly very curious. Beneath that aloof and untouchable exterior, what kind of true nature is hiding? Not to mention, the image she presented in front of me, right from the very beginning, was completely different from what the two Luo sisters described. Luo Yungxi stood up and put her mask and sunglasses back on. She spoke up. It's getting late. Time to pick Xiao Kong up from school. I looked at her getup, and it just looked like an eyesore no matter how I looked at it. I stood to the side without moving. Let's go. What are you two spacing out for? Luo Yungxi looked at the two of us standing like statues, a bit confused. Third sister and I exchanged a helpless glance and followed her out. Wanyang Middle School is a private school that includes both middle and high school. The school system is a bit twisted. The students inside either have excellent grades or they have excellent grades and money. To put it bluntly, grades speak louder than anything else. It's a top-tier school where you can dye your hair, perm it, and wear jewelry. If your grades are too poor, all the money in the world won't help. After all, this school is funded by the Gu family. Other than the Luo and Jin families, even if they're rich, they can't just ignore their family. Rumor has it that because of this very rule, it fed the entire Jin family's tutoring business. Chu Moxuan couldn't sit still anymore. He turned to look at you in the back seat. What are you really doing out here? I don't buy for a second that you're just here to pick up a student. Gu Shiwan didn't answer. She cast her gaze out the window. Seeing the familiar license plate on the approaching car, she smirked slightly. The Luo family's car. Here to pick up Xiao Kong, I assume? Chu Moxuan followed her gaze into the car. I rubbed my temples, staring at the two sisters who had been bickering the whole ride. I finally interrupted them. Stop. I'll go down and pick them up myself. Neither of you is allowed out of the car. Now you don't have to fight over it, right? Seriously. What is there to even argue about? It's just getting out to pick up a kid. One says the other is dressed too weird and will draw attention. The other says she's too blind to even see anyone. What? Are you going to strike it rich by getting out of the car with me? It's not like this is kindergarten, where you need a pickup card and facial recognition to take the kid from the teacher's hands, hold his hand, and coax him with a let's go home and say bye-bye to the teacher. Seeing that they still wanted to argue, I just held up a hand. Shut it. I'm going. Keep arguing and I'll actually get mad. I pushed the door open and walked toward the school gates, leaving the two sisters staring at each other in dismay. Luo Yungsi gulped. The third kid, don't you think? Xiaoqin's aura just now was terrifying. He's exactly like our oldest sister. I think he's even scarier than her. He's practically on par with Dad. Luo Yunyao was also a little spooked. The sisters exchanged a glance for a second, then simultaneously looked away in disgust. Seeing me get out, Gu Shiwan also stepped out and walked over. Hey, wait for me. Chu Moxuan hurriedly pushed his door open and chased after her. Gu Shiwan walked up behind me. What a coincidence. We meet again. Seeing who it was, I smirked. Oh, hey gorgeous. Are you here to settle the score with me? I glanced back at the Luo family car. They couldn't see us clearly from there. No wonder. Gu Shiwan chuckled. How could I? I'm just accompanying a friend to see his sister. Just happened to bump into you. Oh? You really didn't come just to see me. I'd be so heartbroken. I took a step forward, closing the distance between us. Gu Shiwan tilted her head up, looking at me, since I was a full head taller than her. Yeah, I came to see you. Picking someone up was just on the way. Chu Moxuan, who was half a step behind her, was so shocked he froze in place. No way, sister. Aren't you a man-hater? Are you guys even 30 centimeters apart right now? Did you get possessed? Look at all these pink love bubbles floating around. And gorgeous? Not gonna lie, I'm starting to ship you too. Feeling that intense stare, I turned to look, then glanced back at Gu Shiwan in confusion. My expression practically screaming. Who is this curly-haired poodle? I don't know him. He looks a bit stupid. Gu Shiwan somehow read the meaning in my eyes. He shot Chu Moxuan a glare. Ignore him. He's just an idiot. So I'm just a prop for you to flirt with guys, huh? Ha, hey little kid. I'm Chu Moxuan, Xiao Kong's older cousin. You even called me bro when you were little. Chu Moxuan felt like he had won a point, and shot Gu Shiwan a smug look. My mouth twitched. Little kid, I'll beat you so bad you'll swell up like a little kid. You believe that? I'm Xiao Kong's older cousin too. How about you call me big brother? After saying that, I ignored him, leaving him to sulk with a twisted expression. Chu Moxuan choked on my words. Hey, you're not being cute anymore. Gu Shiwan watched my shifting expressions and couldn't hold back a laugh. Chak, she looks even better when she smiles. I couldn't help but stare, completely captivated. My eyes were practically glued to her. Gu Shiwan stood on her tiptoes slightly, bringing her face even closer to mine. Am I pretty? Then give me a chance to treat you to dinner. Oh, so that's what you were waiting for. I raised an eyebrow. Not today, gorgeous, but another day works. Then give me your number. How about tomorrow? Gu Shiwan pulled out her phone, unlocked it, and handed it straight to me. I was caught off guard for a second. I took the phone and asked, You're just handing this to me. Aren't you afraid I'll look at your private stuff? Look if you want. I have nothing to hide. Gu Shiwan said casually. Chu Moxuan chimed in. That's your personal phone, right? How many shady things do you have on there? Don't you know? Yourself. Hearing this, I couldn't help but smirk, but I didn't snoop around. I just added my WeChat and saved my number, then handed it back to her. After doing all that, I said fiercely, Don't you dare change the contact name, or I'll beat you up. Gu Shiwan took the phone back, glanced down at the contact name. Baby. A strange ripple of emotion flashed in her eyes. It actually sounds pretty nice. All right. You're welcome to check it any time. After saying that, she even mouthed the word silently. Baby. Damn. Why does this feel so embarrassing? I rubbed the imaginary goosebumps off my arms. Good girl. The school bell rang. The gates opened, and students swarmed out. It looked like a crowded marketplace. Class 2. Grade 12. A girl with a milky as about wolf cut grabbed her backpack and headed out. Chu Motong hurried to catch up with her, linking arms with her. Hey, Xiao Tong, wait for me. What's the rush? The driver isn't going to run away. The driver didn't come today. Luo Yuntong shrugged, shaking the hand off her arm. Chu Motong wasn't annoyed. The driver took the day off? Then just take my family's car back. It's on the way anyway. No need. My brother is picking me up. We're heading back to the main estate. On Luo Yuntong's usually expressionless face, you could actually see a hint of showing off. Luo Yuntong didn't actually have many memories of me. After all, I was kidnapped when she was only 2. She hadn't seen her older brother since, but as she slowly grew up, her memory of her brother never faded, because our family told her from a young age that she had an older brother, and when he came home, she had to treat him well. Her brother held the highest status in the entire Luo family. They basically raised her into a closeted bro-con. There were also many photos of me at home. Every year, everyone would gather together to celebrate my birthday, even though the birthday boy himself was never there. Yesterday, she was the first to see Sister Shi's Weibo post and send it to the family group chat. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have even known I was back. Chu Motong laughed. What's so great about having a brother to brag about? You're not the only one with a brother. Wait, she actually didn't have an older brother. Damn, that hurt. The two of them walked together toward the school gates. As soon as they walked out, they saw 3 people practically glowing. Their looks were too stunning to ignore. It's just... Why did they look so much like a family of 3? A mom, a dad, and a pet poodle coming to pick up their kid. Luo Yunkong's puppy dog eyes instantly lit up. He quickly ran forward. Luo Yunkong stopped right in front of me, his eyes a little red. He said, slightly breathless, Brother, you're finally back. We finally don't have to celebrate your birthday without you. Hearing this, I froze for a second. They celebrated my birthday every year? No one had ever told me that. I reached out and ruffled his hair. I'm back. From now on, I'll be there for every birthday blank, including yours. You have to keep your word. Luo Yunkong hooked his pinky around mine to make a pinky promise. Gu Shiwon glared at that finger with an unfriendly look. So ugly. Chu Moxuan looked at her expression and felt his eyes hurt. He spoke up to remind his silly cousin. Luo Yunkong gave him a weird look. Sister Gu, why are you here too? And cousin, is your throat okay? Chu Motong couldn't hold back a laugh. Chu Moxuan glared at her. Shut up. Mind your own business. Hello, Sister Gu. Hello, Brother Yichin. After saying that, Chu Motong zipped her lips shut. Luo Yunkong glared at her. My brother. All right, we're heading back now. I said this while looking at Gu Shiwan. Gu Shiwan nodded slightly. See you tomorrow. We'll see. Depends on my schedule. I chuckled and walked away, pulling Luo Yunkong along. Gu Shiwan just stood there, watching me leave. Chu Moxuan waved a hand in front of her face. Stop staring. Sis, he's already far away. TS key. Look at that gaze. It's so sweet it's sickening. Gu Shiwan slapped his hand away and walked off. Chu Moxuan followed her, leaving Chu Motong still standing there. What's going on? Weren't they here to pick me up? Then where's my driver? What are you spacing out for? Hurry up and follow us. Hearing her older brothers roar, Chu Motong quickly ran after them. Meanwhile, I shoved Luo Yuntong into the back seat and got into the passenger seat myself, leaving the three sisters staring at each other, completely sick of each other. Back at the Luo family estate, I gave the gift to Luo Yunkong. Inside that massive gift box were actually several boxes of out-of-print Legos, and they were all huge sets. Even I was stunned when I saw them. Weren't these Jiang Ziru's precious treasures? He treated them like his own husband. Jiang Yuning actually swiped the most expensive ones and sent them over. What a great bro. But seeing how happy Luo Yunkong looked, I couldn't bear to say anything. Whatever. I pulled out my phone and transferred 50 million to Jiang Ziru as medical expenses. My conscience didn't hurt one bit. A second later, Jiang Ziru's message popped up. Luo Ge, did I do something wrong? Is this my severance pay? I think I can still be saved. Don't just execute me right away. I'll change, okay? Seriously, what did I do? At least let me die knowing why. If you have nothing to do, don't come back to the manor. Buy whatever you like yourself. If you want to blame someone, blame Jiang Yuning. These few short sentences left Jiang Ziru completely confused. What did he do wrong? Jiang Yuning actually backstabbed him? He quickly called Jiang Yuning. When he found out the truth, he felt like his life had lost all hope and meaning. Those were the out-of-print sets he had worked so hard to track down. His precious husbands, the loves of his life. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. So he called me. At that moment, I was watching TV in the living room with Grandma Luo. I picked up the phone and walked to the side. Luo Ge. Papa Luo, those were my husbands. How could you just give them away? I frowned slightly, instinctively holding the phone away from my ear. Jiang Yuning gave them to me. I had no idea. Besides, he's just a kid. Why are you beefing with a kid? Jiang Zero's roar came through the phone. A kid. He's 17, I'm 18. Technically, I'm only 3 months older than him. I'm a kid too. That's why I transferred you the medical expenses, didn't I? Is this about money? That was the love of my life. Add another 50 million. But this really isn't about money. From now on, whenever you buy that stuff, just expense it to me. All right? Don't push your luck. Otherwise, you can send that 50 million right back. You got it? Luoga, you're the best. You're practically my second parent. Love you. Moi. Remember to buy 2 copies next time. And just like that, he hung up. Jiang Ziru stared at the ended call screen, feeling a bit puzzled. Why did it feel like his Luo Ji was only being so agreeable to buy Legos for his sibling, and he was just an afterthought? Whatever. Tearfully making a furious 90 million profit, he chuckled in satisfaction and went off to buy more Legos. Seeing me hang up, Luo Yunkong, who had come looking for me, finally stepped forward. Brother, time to eat. The two of us walked inside, side by side. Luo Yunkong hesitated for a moment before asking, Brother, I just heard you talking about a kid and medical expenses. Did something happen? It's nothing. Just joking around with a friend. An old hag pretending to be young, calling herself a kid. Luo Yuntong nodded and didn't say anything else. But in her heart, she was secretly thinking, a friend who doesn't even have 5,000 bucks. Must be a deadbeat friend trying to scam money. At the dinner table, Grandpa Luo asked, Xiaochen, do you have any thoughts on when to hold your welcome back banquet? I paused for a second, then answered, Grandpa, anytime works for me. Grandpa Luo looked at me and asked pointedly, Then how about next Saturday? Is that enough time to prepare? No problem. It's just that I've never organized a banquet before, so I'll have to trouble the elders with the hard work. Grandma Luo immediately made the final call. Good. Then it's set for next Saturday. The location will be right here at the main estate. Grandma will definitely make sure our precious boy looks incredibly handsome. Everyone, when that day comes, you all better clear your schedules for me. Everyone nodded repeatedly. How could they refuse? They didn't want to get beaten up as adults, did they? We're going all out this time. Even the second-tier families will be invited. You guys handle the guest list. Xiaoxin chimed in. I'll take charge of the guest list. I'm the most free person in the house anyway. By the way, Xiaochen, Do you want to invite some of your friends over? I silently went over a few names in my head. Before answering, I have a few. Just give me 5 or 6 invitations when the time comes. Thanks, Xiaoshan. Alright, we'll finalize the design tonight, and tomorrow Xiaoshan will bring you a few blank invitations. Here you go. That night, everyone chose to stay over at the Luo family estate. I had just washed up and laid down in bed when I saw a message from Gu Shiwan. A wicked smirk curled on my lips. I immediately shot her a video call. It connected very quickly. The woman on the screen was still wearing her business attire. The background looked like a study. Hey, gorgeous. Why are you still working so late? Gu Shiwan looked at me through the screen. I was lying on my side in bed. My bare arm, illuminated by the light, was blindingly pale. Her eyes darkened for a split second. Isn't this to free up more time? For my date with young Master Luo tomorrow? I curled my lip. So now it's my fault that you have to work overtime? Gu Shiwan's deep gaze was fixed intently on me. Of course not. It's just that my work efficiency is too slow. But I also wanted to see you sooner. Also, tomorrow isn't a date. It's you treating me to dinner to apologize for scaring me. You see, I'm the kind of person who loves to push my luck. Gu Shiwan raised an eyebrow. So, young Master Luo is agreeing to give me a schedule tomorrow. It's true what they say. CEOs are all black-hearted. I don't count. I'm just a hands-off boss. I suppose I can reluctantly have a meal with you. Then thank you for gracing me with your presence, young master. I'll pick you up tomorrow. I brushed my slightly messy bangs aside, gesturing aimlessly at the screen. You're that impatient to see me? Yeah. Give me a chance. No need. I have things to do tomorrow afternoon. I'll head to the restaurant myself when I'm done. That works. Gu Shiwan rubbed her nose a bit unnaturally. You won't be able to get into the place I booked by yourself. Why don't you come find me at the Gu Corporation when you're done? Sister, do you hear yourself right now? Plus, your face practically screams I'm lying. Like hell, I'd believe you. Seeing me stay silent and just stare at her, Gu Shiwan leaned her face a bit closer to the screen. Can you? Trying to seduce me? Huh? I really could never get tired of looking at that pretty face. We'll see. I'll let you know when I'm done. If it's still early, I'll head over. Gu Shiwan rested her chin on her hand and nodded. I'll wait for you at the company. Alright, I'm done talking to you. Get some rest. When you get older, you need to focus on your health. Staying up late makes you ugly and bald. Good night, gorgeous. With that, I immediately hung up the call with a Times click, leaving Gu Shiwan staring at the black screen, her mind racing. She's getting older? The little kid is only 19. He's 6 years younger than her. I guess she is a bit older. But didn't he really like her face? And she's not bald. Damn it. She couldn't figure it out. Whatever. Time to sleep. I'll just leave these documents for Chu Muxun. The next afternoon, I drove Xiao He out, pushing open the door to a private room in a tea house. Inside sat a middle-aged man with an imposing aura. Seeing me enter, he immediately smiled like a blooming flower. I swiped this top-tier Maojian tea from the old man. Give it a try. The man said as he poured me a cup. I brought my index and middle fingers together and tapped the table 3 times before picking up the cup and taking a sip. Refreshing with a hint of sweetness, fresh with a slight bitterness. It really is good tea. Not bad. Didn't get beaten up for it. The man didn't mind the teasing. I was the one who saved his life. He had shamelessly begged just to become my forget-the-age friend. Back when he poured tea for the old man and his family, the old man would tap the table in return as an equal. So he was more than happy just to be treated as a peer by me. I told him it was for you. How could he refuse? He wouldn't dare do anything to me. Is there even 2 ounces in this cup? Don't drink too much of this green tea. Don't you know what's wrong with your own body? The man coughed lightly, changing the subject. When did you get back? You didn't even tell me. If our old man hadn't mentioned it, I still wouldn't know. Just a couple of days ago. He's the only one keeping an eye on me all day. I never expected you to be the son of the Luo family, if you hadn't. I cut him off. If I hadn't been kidnapped back then, maybe I wouldn't have climbed to the heights I'm at now in this lifetime, and I probably wouldn't have met you. The man was choked up by my words. The emotions in his eyes were complicated, a mix of heartache and sighing at fate. True. Your welcome back banquet should be a huge affair, right? The time is set. I pulled 2 invitations from my bag and handed them to him. Next Saturday. The address is the Luo family estate. Make sure you come and bring some people with you. As for the old man, it's best if he doesn't come. I'm afraid he'll mess up my performance. The man froze for a second, not understanding what I meant. What do you mean? Boss, you're not planning to crash your own party, are you? Is the Luo family treating you badly? No, they treat me very well. I'll tell you the specific arrangements when the time comes. I finished my last sip of tea, stood up, and left. I checked the time. It was still early. Then I might as well go visit the Gu Corporation. I sent Gu Shiwan a message, then drove toward the Gu Corporation. As soon as I walked up to the Gu Corporation's front desk, the receptionist walked over. Young Master Luo, the CEO is still in a meeting. She notified us that, if you arrived, you should head straight to her office. I paused. You know me? Yes, my idol is Sister Shi. When she posted on Weibo, I saw it immediately. You're really handsome. I smiled at the receptionist. Thanks, you're very pretty too. It's a shame my second sister went out for a gig today. When she gets back, I'll grab some signed photos from her for you. The receptionist led me to the elevator, and even swiped the card for me. Thank you, young Master Luo. This is the CEO's private elevator. It goes straight to the top floor. Just head on up. Sorry for the trouble. The receptionist smiled even brighter. As the elevator doors were about to close, she was still waving at me. No trouble at all. Goodbye, young Master Luo. He's way too handsome. How can someone in the real world actually look like that? And he's super polite too. The receptionist opened the work group chat. Attention all departments. Young Master Luo is heading up at President's Secretary Group. I think he's kind of cute. Is Gu Group's corporate culture really this on point? I wonder if he'd be interested in jumping ship to Putao. I thought it was a bit weird when the elevator stopped at the 33rd floor. I clearly pressed 60. When the doors opened, Gu Shiwan walked in. Gu Shiwan didn't expect such a coincidence either, bumping into each other in the elevator. She looked pleasantly surprised. You're here. Her special assistant, Ling Jiyu, froze for a second behind her and didn't follow her in. Hello, young Master Luo. President Gu, I left the documents in the conference room. I'll bring them up later. After saying that, she turned and left. I raised an eyebrow. She sure knows how to read the room. I turned to look at Gu Shiwan. President Gu, don't tell me you were watching the security cameras just to ambush me. Just a chance encounter. Gu Shiwan leaned in slightly, reaching out to take the bag from my hand. I really just finished a meeting this time. Otherwise, I would have just gone down to pick you up. All right, I'll believe you this once. But you're just letting me waltz into Gu Group like this. Aren't you afraid I'll steal your corporate secrets? Gu Shiwan smiled, completely unbothered. Gu Group and Luo Group's business sectors don't overlap at all. Besides, would Chairman Luo even care about my meager little profit? I actually lowered my eyes, pretending to think about it. After a long moment, I looked up, lowered my head, and leaned in close to her. Of course he would. Gu Group is a massive empire. If you just let a little slip through your fingers for me, I'd make an absolute fortune. Don't you think? Gu Shiwan also looked up at me. The distance between us closed. You don't need to steal. I'm willing to give it to you. I froze for a second, not quite processing what she meant. Just as I was about to ask, with a ding, the elevator doors opened. After entering her office, Gu Shiwan finally spoke. Make yourself at home. Give me half an hour. I'll be done soon. President Gu, tell me, what kind of creature am I in your eyes? I'm genuinely curious. Gu Shiwan was stumped by my question. A little baby, but also a little fox. But she didn't dare say it out loud. You're a person. I mean in your eyes. Am I a guy or a girl? Or a guy cross-dressing? A girl cross-dressing? Or neither? Gu Shiwan reached out a finger and pushed my forehead away. What are you thinking? A guy, of course. Then why aren't you scared of me? They all say you have androphobia, that no man can get within a meter of you. Actually, Gu Shiwan had asked herself this very question. Back at Huixing, she recognized me at a glance and felt an urgent desire to get close to me. It was a very strange feeling. Even with her germophobia and androphobia, she still wanted to be near me. She even wiped my hands for me. She couldn't figure out what was going on either. It couldn't possibly be just because I kissed her when we were kids, right? Snapping back to reality, she said, I don't know either. Maybe you're just special. I raised an eyebrow, reached out, grabbed her collar, and pulled her toward me. Specially handsome? Or specially charming? Or is it that you specially like me? Her fingers curled slightly, but she didn't resist. That depends on which answer you want to hear. Boring. Hurry up and work. I curled my lips and pushed her away. Gu Shiwan found it amusing. The little fox turned into a little hedgehog. She reached out and rubbed my head. I'll be done soon. Yeah, sure. Other people are a one-man army, but with you, it's like I'm one person, taking on a whole zoo. I walked over to the sofa and sat down. I looked at the cigarette pack on the coffee table and the lighter. I raised an eyebrow. This woman has taste. She smokes the same brand as me. Seeing her looking down at her documents, I simply took one out and popped it in my mouth. I lit it with the lighter. Hearing the click of the lighter, Gu Shiwan looked up, only to see a cigarette pinched between my fingers. The smoke swirled around my face, blurring my features. For some reason, Gu Shiwan felt that in this moment, I looked somewhat ethereal and fragile, as if I might vanish into thin air the very next second. Her heart tightened. She walked over and sat down beside me, pretending nothing was wrong. Since when did you learn to smoke? I exhaled a puff of smoke. I said casually, when President Gu first started smoking. Did you take a special training course for it? Gu Shiwan smiled helplessly. The smiles I'd shown her these past 2 days were more than she'd seen in an entire year before, and I was smiling so happily. She was honestly amazed. The well-behaved me in front of my family, the fierce, violent me beating people up at Huixing, the quirky, mischievous me in front of her, and the me in this very moment. Which side was the real me? Her intuition told her that I wasn't just Putao's behind-the-scenes boss. What exactly had I been through all these years? I was only halfway through my cigarette when Gu Shiwan snatched the remaining half, right out of my hand. She raised her eyes, staring at me. Smoking is bad for your health, so one whole cigarette is too much. Half for each of us is just right. After saying that, she actually put it in her mouth and took a drag. The first half of her sentence made my blood boil. I hate being lectured more than anything. Who the hell can control me? Even the old man doesn't dare boss me around. But the second half, combined with that bold move of hers, completely threw me off. I let out a soft scoff. If President Gu wants to kiss me, just say so. Why play the indirect kiss game? Are we in elementary school? I tilted my head, staring intently at her lips. Even though I've never kissed anyone, I wasn't born yesterday. Besides, Gu Shiwan's lips looked incredibly kissable. She grew visibly uncomfortable under my stare. She froze there, completely motionless. It wasn't until the cigarette burned down to the filter and scorched her fingers that she suddenly snapped out of it. Gu Shiwan raised a hand and tugged at her collar. I'll finish up my work first, then we'll go eat. With that, she got up and walked briskly to her desk, but her steps were a little frantic. I stared at her flushed neck and the red tips of her ears, almost bursting into laughter. What kind of persona is this? An innocent older sister? Gorgeous big sis. I'm going to the restroom. I stopped teasing her, stood up, and headed for the door. Gu Shiwan lifted her chin toward a hidden door across the room. There's one in the lounge. You don't have to go outside. All right. I pushed open the door to her lounge and walked in. It was a small suite, about 80 square meters. I looked around at the decor. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The standard black, white, and gray of a female CEO. The moment I stepped inside, my phone on the sofa started ringing. Gu Shiwan stepped forward and glanced at it. The caller ID said N. It's rude to answer someone else's phone, so she just let it ring until it hung up automatically. When I came out, her brow twitched slightly as she reminded me, "Your phone rang just now." I glanced at the caller ID, walked over to the window, and called back. Speak. The person on the other end clicked their tongue. Xiao Chen. That one word just extinguished all my enthusiasm. Then I'm hanging up. Don't. I just called specifically to tell you. I'm arriving in Jing City the day after tomorrow. Remember to pick me up. No time. Go find Jiang Zirong. Come on, I missed you. I sneered. Isn't it because you stole his Lego? And you're afraid he'll beat you up? Oh, come on, we're family. Don't sweat the details. Oh, right, one more thing. They're asking when you're going to help them train. Tell them we'll talk about it later. I'm busy. I looked out at the scenery through the glass window. Honestly, the view in Jing City was pretty nice. Putao's headquarters. But I hadn't even been to Putao's branch in Jing City yet. I had no idea what it actually looked like. It'd be better to check it out before I start complaining. All right, I'll just tell them it's TBD. Hey, I'm such a genius. Damn it. Luo Yichen, you hung up on me again. The moment the call ended, I switched to the other operating system on my phone, opened a chat window, and typed, "Stop rushing me. Rush me again. And I'll refund the money and quit." Then I casually switched back to the normal system, aimlessly scrolling through my screen. About 10 minutes later, Gu Shiwan closed her laptop and stood up. Let's go. Time to eat. I looked up and teased her. It's only 5 o'clock. President Gu, doesn't this count as leaving early? Gu Shiwan's expression didn't change as she picked up my bag. If we leave any later, I'm afraid we'll hit traffic. Besides, I'm done with my work for today. As we spoke, we walked out side by side. The people in the secretary's office wanted to look but didn't dare. Their sneaky glances were ridiculously obvious. The second we left, the work group chat immediately blew up. The president is off work. The president actually left early. Young Master Luo's my god. How was it? How was it? Hurry up and tell us. At secretary office big beauty. He's super handsome in person. The president even carried his bag for him. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I've been working here for 7 years, and I've never seen her act like such a simp. You're Xiao Li from the front desk, right? I'm telling you, they look perfect together. Haha. Gossiping about the boss. I see you guys are itching for a beating. I'm not like that. Maybe it has to do with my upbringing. Heh. Just say you're jealous. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You're on the 23rd floor. Don't come crashing our party. You hurt my feelings. You have to buy me milk tea to apologize. When we got downstairs, I suddenly remembered something. I turned and walked toward the front desk. Gu Shiwan followed right behind me. It made Xiao Li both thrilled and nervous. Her expression was completely twisted up. Hello, President Gu. Hello, young Master Luo. Could you give me your contact info and address? I'll have my second sister mail it directly to you. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll forget later. When it came to this, she wasn't timid anymore. Xiao Li's eyes instantly lit up. Yes, of course. I'll write it down for you right now. Thank you, young Master Luo. Xiao Li handed me the sticky note with her address using both hands. I took it and snapped a quick photo. All right, see you next time. Okay, take care, young Master Luo. It wasn't until I walked out of the Gu Group building that the receptionist realized. I don't think I told the president to take care just now. Whatever, never mind. I'll just make up for it tomorrow. Xiao Li pulled out her phone and posted on Weibo. She even ran to the fan group to show off. Sister Shi's brother is seriously too handsome. He came to our company today, and he was barefaced. His features are ridiculously perfect. At first, when he said he'd give me Sister Shi's signed photo, I didn't take it too seriously. Even if he was just stringing me along, I'd still be happy just to acknowledge him. Just having the thought was enough. But when he left, he specifically came over to ask for my address. He said he'd have Sister Shi's team arrange it directly. He was even afraid he'd lose the sticky note with my address, so he snapped a picture of it. I'm literally crying to death. I'm changing my bias. If you stand Luo Yichen, what kind of merch do you even buy? A bunch of envious and jealous replies immediately popped up below, along with all sorts of jokes. Financial magazines? How is that possible? I feel like if it weren't for this whole family recognition thing, he probably still wouldn't have revealed that he's Putao's behind-the-scenes boss. Do you really think he'd be on a financial magazine? Then just buy his sister. If you can't buy his sister, buy his sister's merch. Love me. Love my dog. Wait, Are you sure you're not just promoting our sister's merch? I was completely oblivious to all this online chatter. I sent the address to my second sister, explained the situation, and then put it out of my mind. Right now, I was standing at the entrance of Rui Pavilion, with a rather complicated expression. So this is the place I supposedly couldn't get into on my own. Seeing me rooted to the spot, Gu Shiwan spoke up. Let's go. I've already booked a private room. Alrighty. I followed her inside. The manager, who was waiting in the lobby for Gu Shiwan, looked up and unexpectedly saw his own boss. What is going on here, boss? President Gu, good afternoon. Damn it. Just as I was about to shoot him a look, he completely blew my cover. Boss? Gu Shiwan looked at me with a smile. Rui Pavilion is yours. I shot her a sideways glance. What? Is that a problem? Of course not. It just makes me look like I'm showing off in front of an expert. I took a deep breath and looked at the manager. Move President Gu's reservation to my private room. Charge her as usual later, but give her a 15% discount. Gu Shiwan's expression didn't change at all. She just kept looking at me with a smile. Understood, boss. The manager kept his head down and led the way. Save me. I think I messed up. Following the manager all the way up, the two of us arrived at the top floor. As everyone knows, the top floor of every Rui Pavilion branch worldwide is never open to the public, no matter how much money you have. That's my private territory as the boss. Rui Pavilion isn't just famous for its food. Its reputation for interior design has always been top tier. Every branch is designed according to local architectural styles. So this one in Jing City features a rustic, traditional Chinese courtyard style. The top floor is even more extravagant. The entire floor is bathed in warm tones, lit by soft wall sconces and faux candelabras. The furniture is all made of precious woods. There's even a small pond on the side, with a fog machine running underneath, making the mist swirl like a fairyland. It's filled with high-end ornamental fish. TSK. TSK. If her grandpa saw this, he'd definitely try to scoop a few up and take them home, especially that Asian arowana and the Lulan koi. The old man had been looking for adult ones for a long time but couldn't get his hands on any. Yet I have several right here. Don't ask why I didn't just buy fry. The answer is I bought a ton of them, but none of them survived. The manager handed us each a menu. I didn't even look at it. I gestured for Gu Shiwan to order whatever she wanted. My staff already knows my tastes anyway. Gu Shiwan ordered a few signature dishes and added a portion of braised spare ribs. Finally, she specifically instructed no green onions. The manager's face practically screamed. I ship it, as he silently backed out of the room. I was originally looking down at my phone, but my head snapped up when I heard no green onions. How did she know? As if seeing my confusion, Gu Shiwan smiled and explained, Shu and I were classmates. I heard her mention it back in school. I rested my chin on my hand and smiled at her. You still remember something from so many years ago, gorgeous? Looks like you've had me in your heart since we were kids. It definitely left a deep impression. Gu Shiwan couldn't help but laugh thinking about the past. I heard my grandpa wanted to arrange a childhood marriage for us back then, but your whole family unanimously objected and kicked my grandpa right out the door. It's not too late to make up for it now. Just drop the childhood part. How about we just arrange a marriage? Gu Shiwan raised those deep eyes of hers, staring straight at me. Are you serious, young Master Luo? I'd be more than happy to. Then I'll have my grandpa come over to propose as soon as I get back. Who the hell has been spreading fake news? Including how Intra said she had androphobia. Who? The smile on my face stiffened for a second, but I quickly pretended nothing was wrong. In your dreams. I still need to observe you a bit more. Then I'll definitely put on a good performance. Gu Shiwan deliberately emphasized the word performance. But President Gu is already 26 after all. You're a whole 7 years older than me. I haven't even reached the legal age for marriage yet, when it comes to age. I said, holding up 7 fingers. Gu Shiwan's temple twitched slightly. I'm 25. I started school a year early. That's why I was in the same grade as Shu. 6 years, huh? What's wrong with 6 years? Speak clearly. Seeing the urgency in her eyes, I held back a laugh. 6 years is acceptable, I guess. There were 2 knocks on the door. The manager pushed the door open, leading a few waiters inside. After placing the dishes on the table one by one, he finally spoke. Boss, we've recently developed a few new desserts. Would you like to try them? I didn't answer immediately. I looked at Gu Shiwan first. How many people are in your family right now? Gu Shiwan paused for a moment, then replied, 3, my parents and my grandpa. After asking, I finally instructed the manager, arrange it as you see fit, and pack 2 separate boxes of desserts, 4 servings each. I'll take them with me later. Understood, boss. Enjoy your meal, you two. After saying that, he backed out of the room, closing the door behind him. Gu Shiwan raised an eyebrow. Then I'll thank you on behalf of my family. After all, Rui Pavilion's desserts are all limited edition. No need to be polite. I'm still making money off that 15% discount of yours anyway, I said as I picked up a piece of braised spare rib. TSK, my mom's cooking is still better. I was eating happily when a bowl of soup suddenly appeared next to my hand. Have some soup. Thanks, gorgeous. Gu Shiwan looked at me. When you're happy, it's gorgeous. When you're not, it's President Gu. Are you still in college right now? I swallowed the meat in my mouth. Graduated. Graduated? Gu Shiwan was visibly stunned. So you started college at 15? No, I got my PhD at 16. As for when I started college, I think it was 13 or 14. At the time, I had the old man hire a bunch of tutors for me. I went through all the material before applying to roster. Gu Shiwan froze. She had actually gotten an offer from roster back then too. She was just accompanying Luo Yunshu to apply. In the end, Luo Yunshu didn't get in, but she did. But she didn't end up going either. Instead, she stayed in the country and attended Jing University. What a pity. Otherwise, I would have been his senior. But she also knew she couldn't achieve what I did. Getting a PhD in mathematics in just 3 years. I was secretly gloating inside. Yep, when I was a freshman, you were a sophomore. When I got my PhD, you were still writing your undergrad thesis. Gu Shiwan looked at me across the table, still wrestling with my meat, and shook her head helplessly. Probably only when I'm eating. Do I actually look my age? After dinner, I didn't actually let her pay. Otherwise, how would I get an excuse to see her next time? Gu Shiwan drove my little black, dropping me off at the entrance of the Luo family villa. Once the car stopped, I asked, "How are you getting back? Want to take my car?" Gu Shiwan unbuckled her seatbelt and pointed at the small arch bridge up ahead. "No need. I'm heading back to my parents' place. It's just across the bridge." I looked in the direction she pointed. Well, what do you know? Our two families are just facing each other across an artificial river. All right then. Stay safe. Gorgeous. I'll watch you leave. Gu Shiwan reached out and tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear. No need. I'll leave after you go inside. All right, I'm heading in then. Good night. I got out of the car, blew her a flying kiss, and walked into the Luo estate. She didn't walk away until the villa gates closed behind me. I walked in carrying the desserts. Only Mom and Dad were in the living room. Mom, Dad, I'm home. Where are my sisters? Your oldest sister isn't back yet. Your third sister is in her room. Seeing me return, Su Wanqing even stopped watching her drama. She got up to take the boxes from my hands. What did you bring? Xiao Chen, is it heavy? I smoothly dodged her hands and held her hand instead. Not heavy, just some desserts. Thought I'd bring some back for you guys to try. Luo Qingyuan narrowed his eyes at the logo on the wooden box and asked, Rui Pavilion? Since when do they do takeout? I'm a special case. Hurry and try these new items. They taste pretty good. I opened the lids and laid the desserts out on the table. Rui Pavilion belongs to Xiao Chen too. Luo Qinyuan immediately understood what I meant. I picked up 2 pieces of pastry with a fork and popped them into my parents' mouths. Bingo! You guessed it. As a reward, you get lifetime access to the top floor of all Rui Pavilion branches. For free, of course. Su Wanqing reached out and poked my forehead. Only for your dad? Mom doesn't get any? I raised my hands in surrender. You're wronging me here. Of course, everyone gets a share. I treat everyone equally. You guys eat first. I'll go get my third sister. The moment I said that, I dashed upstairs. Slow down. Don't trip. Su Wanqing called out anxiously from behind. Once I was completely out of sight, the couple looked at each other and shook their heads helplessly. A lot of things were left unsaid, communicated only through their eyes. I raised my hand and knocked on Luo Yunyao's door. Third sister, can I come in? Come on in. I pushed the door open and walked in. Luo Yunyao turned to look at me. What's up? Xiao Chen is calling you downstairs for dessert. I leaned over her desk and asked, what are you busy with? Luo Yunyao pushed her scratch paper in front of me. An assignment from my mentor. I spotted the problem at a glance. I pointed to one of the steps. You calculated this step wrong. That's why you're stuck. Luo Yunyao followed my finger and took a look. Her eyes instantly lit up. You're right. She had been wondering why she couldn't figure out the error. Once it was pointed out, the rest of the problem was naturally solved. Luo Yunyao stared at me with a face full of admiration. Xiao Chen, did you study math before too? No, I studied economics and weapon manufacturing. An economics major. Actually managed to outsmart her, a prodigy, who was directly admitted to the math department. So frustrating. Oh, right, third sister. Are you still planning to get your PhD? Luo Yunyao smiled. Of course. I want to try applying to roster. If it doesn't work out, that's fine too. I'll just stay at Hoke University for my PhD. I want to go to roster for Spencer. Hearing her say this, I immediately thought of that old man, wearing slippers with a scruffy beard. Luo Yunyao's face was full of longing. Yeah, I originally studied math because of Professor Spencer. He's the one who made me realize how fascinating math can be. Besides, I also want to go to the places you've been and walk the path you've walked. All right. Third sister is so amazing, you'll definitely make it. Let's go. If we don't go down soon, Mom and Dad will eat all the dessert. I pulled her up and we went down to the first floor. Uncle Luo Yun, who had been working overtime, was also back. We all chatted for a while before I returned to my room. Seeing the email show as successfully sent, I smiled silently. I just built a bridge. As for the rest, it depends on whether they are willing to walk on it. On the other side, Gu Shiwan had just stepped into her house. Mother Gu's sarcastic voice drifted over. How does the great CEO have free time today? You actually remembered, to come back and visit us left behind elderly? Gu Shiwan's forehead darkened with exasperation. Grandpa, Dad, Mom, you guys just got back from traveling a few days ago, so you know it was a few days ago. Gu Shiwan didn't take the bait. She placed the food box on the table. I brought you guys some Rui Pavilions. Desserts. Father Gu shot her a speechless glance. Rui Pavilion? You're not fooling us, are you? Rui Pavilion doesn't allow takeout, and they have a daily limit. You'll know once you taste it. That young man from the Luo family specifically had someone prepare these. They're all low sugar, so Grandpa can eat them too. Old Master Gu pulled his reading glasses down a bit and stared straight at her. Are you talking about that kid the Luo family just found and brought back? Gu Shiwan nodded gently. Yeah, we had dinner together tonight. Rui Pavilion belongs to him. Mother Gu said with a face full of delight. Wanching even specially sent me an invitation today, saying that next Saturday at the Luo family's old estate, they're hosting a welcome home banquet for Yichin. Who knows how much this child has suffered out there to achieve so much at such a young age? How come other people can have such capable sons? A welcome home banquet. Why didn't he tell me? Gu Shiwan was also stunned when she heard this. Her parents stared at their daughter like she was some rare novelty. Why would he specifically tell you? The invitation was for our whole family. By the way, you didn't have dinner alone with that young man tonight, did you? Mother Gu stepped forward to feel her forehead, as if to check if she had a fever, but Gu Shiwan dodged her. You're not my daughter, are you? My daughter is a misandrist. How could she eat with a young man? Who exactly are you? Old Master Gu squinted at her for a long time before speaking. I never arranged a childhood marriage for you two back then, so don't go using my name as an excuse. I can't afford to lose that face. Old Master Gu picked up a dessert and started eating. Ignoring her, Gu Shiwan recalled what I had said at the dinner table, and the corners of her mouth curled up. If you take out the word childhood, just arranging a marriage wouldn't be so bad. Just one short sentence startled all three members of the Gu family. Mother Gu even choked on her words. After she recovered, she finally spoke. Daughter, don't say this in front of the young man. Otherwise, he'll definitely think you're a pervert. A female pervert. Yeah, it really sounds like it. Isn't that just being a little pervert? Gu Shiwan stood up and waved her hand. All right, stop meddling. We're just friends right now. I'm going upstairs to rest. Take your time eating. She left the three of them looking at each other. Mother Gu curled her lips. Can she really do it? She's as cold as a block of ice, and her only hobbies are praying to Buddha and playing with prayer beads. Can she even make the young man happy? The Gu family just couldn't figure it out. Although their family was small, the atmosphere had always been harmonious, and the whole family loved to chat. Yet she somehow developed such a silent personality, constantly giving off a freezing aura. They didn't expect her to be humorous and talkative like others, but at least she shouldn't act like a mute. Father Gu rubbed his chin. Seeing her speak so many words today, and even make a joke, is already a miracle. All right, why bother worrying about her? She's an adult. She knows what she's doing. If she can't get a husband, that's her own problem. Not gonna lie, this tastes really good. Saying that, Old Master Gu steadily picked up another dessert. Hey Dad, leave some for me. You've already eaten some of this kind. I haven't even tasted it yet. Don't you know how to respect your elders? Are you two trying to rebel against me? Why don't you cherish the young? Old Gu, if you keep fighting me for it, you're sleeping in the study tonight. I think 1 or 2 nights is no big deal. I can always sleep in the guest room. Back in her room, Gu Shiwan thought for a moment and still decided to give me a call. I answered the phone and looked at the screen. What's up, gorgeous? Gu Shiwan pursed her lips tightly. Why didn't you tell me about your welcome home banquet? My mom said your family sent out invitations. Didn't your family receive one? That's impossible. She was silent for a long while. Just when I thought she had hung up, she muttered in a low voice. But you didn't invite me personally. Chech. Why did her tone sound so resentful? I continued to play dumb. Are you feeling wronged? Then just come over with your family. But I want an invitation. One that only invites Gu Shiwan. The corners of my mouth curled into a wicked smile. Gorgeous. You're getting spoiled and arrogant. Gu Shiwan anxiously pressed on. So can I have one? Sure, why not? I'll bring it over to you right now. Wait for me. No need. Just wait for me at your door. I'll head over right now. As soon as she finished speaking, Gu Shiwan hung up and walked out briskly. When she passed by the living room, the few people still fighting over the dessert stared at her like she was a monster. Daughter, hey, why is this wretched girl in such a panic? She won't even stop when we call her. I went downstairs and asked Uncle Jang for a blank invitation. I wrote Gu Shiwan's name on it and walked out of the villa with it. As I walked out, Gu Shiwan was already waiting at the door. I handed the invitation over. Here, I wrote your name with my own hands. Hearing this, a surge of indescribable joy welled up in Gu Shiwan's heart. She reached out, took it, and opened it. The handwriting was vigorous and powerful, smooth and elegant. Your handwriting is really beautiful. I'll be there on time. Gu Shiwan's expression was serious, and under the glow of the street lamp, she looked a bit surreal. If you dare to be late. I didn't finish my sentence, and just shook my fist at her. She knew what I meant. Gu Shiwan was amused by me. She reached out and ruffled my hair. All right, I promise I won't be late. I might even be early. We just stood at the door, chatting back and forth. The atmosphere inexplicably became harmonious. Seeing that it was getting late, Gu Shiwan looked at me with deep eyes. Go back inside and get some rest. Only when she could no longer see my silhouette did Gu Shiwan turn around and head home. As soon as Gu Shiwan entered her house, she was met with her old mother's interrogation. Daughter, where did you run off to in such a hurry? What's that in your hand? Gu Shiwan's expression didn't change, as she slowly and happily replied, an invitation. Mother Gu was completely baffled. An invitation? From whose family? Gu Shiwan sat on the sofa. The Luo families. The Luo families. The Luo families. Invitation wasn't sent earlier? Good heavens, you actually had the nerve to go ask him for one. How did I give birth to such a shameless fool? if you don't want face. Your mother still does. This one is Xiao Chen inviting me personally. It's different. How is it different? What are you trying to separate your household registration? Wait, what did you just call that young man? THE are really something. Father Gu shot her an approving look. That's my daughter, just as excellent as me. Mother Gu immediately retorted, yeah, just as shamelessly thick-skinned as you. Father Gu tugged at her sleeve and shook it gently. Wife, you already scolded her just now? Since you scolded her, you can't scold me. A glint of amusement flashed in old Master Gu's eyes beside them. He saw through it but didn't point it out, and stealthily picked up another piece of the peach blossom cake that had just been snatched away. Gu Shiwan stood up steadily, completely ignoring their teasing. As she walked upstairs, she reminded, Grandpa, if you eat that much, aren't you afraid you'll be too stuffed to sleep tonight? 2 days later, at Jinshi Airport, a tall and straight figure was walking briskly out of the airport. The man had messy platinum blonde hair, wore a red floral shirt, and had a large pair of sunglasses covering most of his face, only revealing his slightly upturned thin lips. Under Jiang Yuning's relentless pestering and throwing tantrums, demanding it, I still went to the airport, personally to pick him up. I leaned against the car, scrolling through my phone, bored out of my mind. Hearing those familiar footsteps approaching, I didn't even look up. Seeing Jiang Yuning about to lunge over and hug me, I casually stepped aside and dodged him. After steadying himself, Jiang Yuning complained in annoyance. Damn, are you trying to kill me? Luo Yichin. Good thing I hit the brakes fast, otherwise I would have been smashed flat. I slowly walked to the driver's seat. You wouldn't have been smashed flat. Maybe not flat, but my high-nose bridge has to stay original, okay. I still have to be careful just in case. Jiang Yuning got into the car huffing and puffing and deliberately slammed the door hard. I couldn't even be bothered to give him a look as I started the car. You know best how much money I've dumped into Little Black. If the paint chips, you'll pay for it. You're ruthless. I didn't take him to Tinglan Courtyard, but drove straight back to the Luo family villa. Jiang Yuning looked at the unfamiliar route with a confused face. Hey, Xiao Chen, drop me off first. Are you expecting me to drive back by myself? I rested one hand on the steering wheel and said casually, we're not going to Tinglan Courtyard. We're going to my house. Are you crazy? Why didn't you tell me earlier? This is so sudden. I haven't even prepared any gifts, showing up empty-handed like this. Hearing this, Jiang Yuning wanted to jump out of the car even more. All right, don't worry about that. My mom just wants to meet you. Jiang Yuning immediately put on a shy face. Meeting the parents so soon? Isn't that a bit inappropriate? I'm not ready yet. Then I'll tell my mom to stop preparing. She had someone clean up a room for you today, and even planned to cook personally. I said as I pretended to take out my phone. Jiang Yuning hurriedly grabbed my hand. Lord, I'll go. I'll go. By the way, does Jiang Ziru get this treatment? Not yet. Before Jiang Yuning could get happy, I added, but she's coming over today too. Jiang Yuning took a deep breath, lowered his head, and started brainwashing himself, muttering non-stop, it's fine. She's just an add-on. The main reason is still for me. That's right. I'm your best bro. Get out, you're so annoying. Are you trying to dump me on the... Before Jiang Yuning could finish, he turned to look out the window. We had arrived. He hurriedly pushed the door open and got out. As soon as we entered, Uncle Jiang came to greet us. Eldest young master is back. Hello, young master Jiang. Please come in. Hello, Uncle Jiang. Jiang Yuning replied with a smile. Ever since I returned to the Luo family, they had memorized the profiles of all the Luo family members, inside and out. Even the stray cats behind the old estate had been numbered by them. Because Luo Yunshu went abroad on a business trip, Luo Chen Yuan was forced to go to work. The second brother was rushing to a gig, and the third sister was called back to school. Only Su Wanqing was left at home. At this moment, Su Wanqing was watching TV. Hearing footsteps, she looked up. Xiao Chen is back. And this must be Xiao Ning, right? What a handsome young man. Before Jiang Yuning came, I had already told Su Wanqing that he and the other 2 kids surnamed Jiang were my most important siblings. Back then, I was abducted, while 6-year-old Jiang Yuning was sold by his own patriarchal parents. Over the years, we supported each other through those dark days. Thinking of this, a hint of heartache appeared in Su Wanqing's loving eyes. Hello, Auntie. You're so beautiful. If we went out together, people would definitely think we're siblings, right? Su Wanqing held his hand and patted it gently. Such a sweet talker. Don't be nervous. Just treat this as your own home. You kids have suffered so much over the years. Thank you for always staying by Xiao Chen's side. He's the one who's always been by my side, even though I'm 2 years older than him. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have achieved what I have today. Jiang Yuning hadn't interacted with elders for too long, so he was a bit reserved at first. Seeing how easygoing Su Wanqing was, he relaxed. The 2 of them immediately started chatting enthusiastically, as close as a real mother and son. I had just come out of the kitchen carrying orange juice, and hearing this, I just silently curled my lips. Weren't we just accompanying each other along the way? Weren't we achieving success together? Without either of us, we wouldn't be where we are today. I sat down next to them, listening to them chat excitedly, occasionally chiming in with a few words. Seeing that it was about time, Su Wanqing finally wrapped up the conversation. Xiao Ning, Auntie is going to prepare dinner now. Let Xiao Chen take you upstairs to see your room. If you need anything, just tell the servants. The closet is full of new clothes. I asked Xiao Chen about your size and style, and had someone send some over. If you don't like them, let Xiao Chen go shopping with you. Just treat this as your own home. After saying that, Su Wanqing casually ruffled his hair and went into the kitchen with Nanny Wang. Okay, thank you, Auntie. Jiang Yuning's eyes uncontrollably grew hot, and he slightly turned sideways to wipe away the tears at the corners of his eyes. I pretended not to notice and stood up first. Let's go. Let's go check out your room. Jiang Yuning sniffled and followed me. Hey, why are you still so cold-hearted, stupid straight guy? I led him to the door of the room prepared for him and lifted my chin. Take a look. How is it? What's with all the mystery? Jiang Yuning turned the doorknob and was instantly stunned by the layout inside. He originally thought the Luo family had just prepared a guest room for him. He didn't expect it to be a massive suite, and it was a one-to-one replica of his old room. Back when we were in that place, we basically slept on the floor. So the young Jiang Yuning back then always longed for a room of his own. So when he finally got his first house in life, he personally oversaw every single detail and designed it himself. Later, when he earned more money, he bought houses all over the world. No matter how the overall style changed, his master bedroom was always a one-to-one replica of that original design. So when he saw this room, the tears he had just held back instantly burst forth. I'm so annoyed with you, damn it. So annoying. Jiang Yuning cried with snot and tears. Where was the aloof, cool guy from just now? I shot him a look of disgust, but couldn't help marveling at the quality of his hairspray. He was crying this hard, yet his hairstyle wasn't messed up at all. My family also prepared a gift for you. It's on the bed. Take a rest first. I'll come find you later. After saying that, I closed the door for him. A second before the door clicked shut, he heard me say, when I was 10, I told you that in every house I own in the future, there will always be a room for you. I won't break my promise. Jiang Yuning squatted on the floor right then and there, crying uncontrollably. Who knows how long it took before he finally went to wash his face and fix his hair, turning back into the energetic brother Ning. After Jiang Ziru finished her work, she also drove to the Luo family with gifts. Receiving similar treatment to Jiang Yuning made little Jiang feel overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. At the dinner table, there was only Father Luo, Mother Luo, and the three of us. The atmosphere was relaxed and comfortable. During the meal, Luo Qinyuan spoke up. Xiao Chen's three sisters didn't have time to come back. Don't mind it, just treat this as your own home. They are your sisters too. Jiang Yuning and Jiang Ziru hurriedly waved their hands. Not at all. Uncle, we're the ones intruding. Luo Qinyuan glanced at them. How can coming back to your own home be called intruding? Your rooms are already prepared for you. You can even live here permanently. Just treat it as keeping us lonely old folks company. Su Wanqing also gave them a reproachful look and said lovingly, exactly, we're all family from now on. In the past, you might have only had each other, but now you have a home and you have family. Hearing this, Jiang Yuning and Jiang Ziru had tears welling up in their eyes. A home and family? It didn't seem too bad. After all, this home looked completely different from their previous one. Speaking of this, Luo Qinyuan made a direct decision. In my opinion, we should just officially adopt you as our godchildren. Su Wanqing also thought it made sense. That's a great idea. I agree. Let's pick a date later. The two of them anxiously kicked me frantically under the table and kept shooting me looks. I pulled my legs back in annoyance, cleared my throat, and said, Mom, Dad, about this. I'm afraid it's not up to you two. You have to ask Grandpa first. Why? I'm just taking in two godsons. Why do I need the old man's approval? Luo Qinyuan immediately became unhappy upon hearing this, because Grandpa also knows them, and they also said they are children of our family, but they didn't specify whose children they are. I'm worried that these two godsons of yours might turn around and become your little brothers, so it's best to ask Grandpa first. I'm full. Take your time eating. I finished speaking in one breath, slammed my bowl and chopsticks down, and ran upstairs, leaving the four of them looking at each other before they all burst out laughing. What made the Luo parents happy was finally seeing me show the playful energy a kid my age should have. Jiang Yuning and Jiang Ziru, on the other hand, felt a warmth in their hearts. I did this to smooth things over for them, even throwing away my own dignity. Jiang Yuning stopped laughing and looked serious. Uncle, Auntie, things are great just the way they are now. We are already very content. Becoming godchildren is just a change in title. As long as we treat each other as family, none of that matters. The Luo parents didn't insist anymore. You're right. At the end of the day, it's just a title. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're all family from now on. The three of us were staying in the study, staring at the surveillance footage on the screen. The camera showed a private room in a bar, where a group of men and women were huddled together snorting white powder. There were even people in the corner engaging in a group orgy. The scene was absolutely wild and explicit, filled with moans and debauchery. A cold sneer curled on my lips as I spoke into the phone that was on a call. Xiaohan, do it. You better hold on to this free merit being handed right to you. The next second, a group of cops rushed into the private room. Right in front of everyone, they took all those rich misses and second-generation heirs away in handcuffs. There were even three of them so tangled up they couldn't be separated and had to be carried out stacked on top of each other like a human pyramid. A lot of people were so scared they sobered up on the spot, whipping out their phones to frantically take photos and record videos. It's time for those marketing accounts we've been feeding to get to work. Zoom in on Song Ru's face in high definition and tag her as the heiress of Song family building materials and the biological sister of the popular young actor, Song Xingqi. While we're at it, let's drop some of the Song families and Song Xingqi's past scandals. By tomorrow morning in Shin City, there won't be anyone named Song left in the second-tier wealthy circles. After saying that, I even let out a rogue whistle. Jiang Zero started sending out the notifications, her face showing a mix of hatred and a hint of satisfaction. Jiang Yuning urged from the side, "What about me? What about me? What do I do?" I raised an eyebrow. A wealthy heiress with moral issues. Isn't that the perfect excuse to terminate the contract? Jiang Yuning gave a thumbs up. You're a genius. You made the Song family dump all their assets into this, and it's still not enough to cover the termination. Plus, we don't even have to pay the penalty fee. A dark glint flashed in my eyes. This is just the beginning. The evidence has already been submitted. It won't be long before the arrest warrant is in old Han's hands. By Saturday, I want all 4 of them locked up. Tell Avril to clear her schedule and get to China before Saturday. Her invitation to the welcome banquet is already prepared. Jiang Yuning looked disapproving. No way. You didn't say you were going to cause a scene at the banquet from the start, calling Avril over. Doesn't that mean putting our scheme against the Song family right out in the open? You just got back. What will people who don't know the truth think? Jiang Ziru also disagreed. Brother Luo, I know what you mean. He was my biological brother too. I hate Song Yang as well. I wish he were dead, but there's really no need to drag your reputation down with him. The Luo family doesn't know the truth yet. Then let them know the truth. I want to put this right out in the open. My reputation doesn't matter. People can think whatever they want. They can't do anything to me anyway. Exposing them at the banquet was Grandpa's idea. The rest of the family is still in the dark. I shifted my gaze out the window, my voice drifting far away. I promised him 9 years ago, and my brother has spent 15 years being the bad kid who ran away from home with his sister. He deserves to be vindicated, and I don't want to wait anymore. Both of them froze. Jiang Yingchen's death is the deepest thorn in my heart. All these years, I've barely survived by clinging to the last words. Jiang Yingchen said to me on his deathbed, "That's the only thing that kept me going." But for them, isn't it the same? Brother Luo. Jiang Ziru scratched her hair in frustration, wanting to persuade me again. But I didn't make a sound. I just turned and looked straight at her, my eyes full of unwavering determination. All right, let's just do it, okay? Where can the 3 of us go and not thrive? Worst case scenario, we all go back to Enjo together. If all else fails, we still have Chi Shu to support us. Jiang Yuning reached out her right hand, holding it straight out in front of us. Jiang Ziru wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and also reached out her right hand. Seeing this, I smiled, raised my hand, and pressed it against theirs, forming a triangle. This was the gesture we made every time we reached a consensus or successfully accomplished something. A triangle is the most stable shape, and the center of gravity for our triangle has always been Jiang Yingchen. While things were peaceful on our end, dark clouds were looming over the Song family. Batches of marketing accounts started posting videos and photos of Songru being arrested. In the blink of an eye, it shot to the top of the trending searches. They received several calls from partners terminating their contracts one after another. At that moment, Song Yang hadn't even realized what was happening. He was still lost in his secretary's embrace, even talking tough and telling the other party not to regret it. It wasn't until their major partner, Avril, called overseas. The other party coldly stated, "Your company's misconduct makes it very difficult for us to cooperate with peace of mind." It was the secretary who snapped out of it first. She shoved Song Yang off of her. When she opened her phone and saw the trending notification, she looked like she'd been struck by lightning. She handed the phone to Song Yang. "Chairman, the young miss is in trouble. She's been arrested, and it's dragging up a lot of past scandals about the company and the young master." Song Yang was so furious he raised his hand and smashed the phone. "That little bitch. Hurry up and get someone to take down the trending searches. Suppress the heat." Just as Song Yang and his secretary started emergency crisis management, Wang Linlin's call suddenly came through. As soon as the call connected, she started wailing non-stop. "Old Song, something happened to Xiaoru. What are we going to do? Hurry and find someone to get Xiaoru out. Cry, cry, cry. That's all you know how to do. You useless spendthrift. You're crying away all my good luck. The company is a complete mess right now, and you want me to bail out that little animal. Let her stay in there and clear her head first." After saying that, he hung up the phone directly. Seeing that Song Yang was unreliable, Wang interrupted and called Song Xingqi instead. Song Xingqi looked completely impatient, but he suppressed his anger and coaxed her. "Mom, it hasn't even been 2 hours since the incident. Even if we want to bail her out, it can't be done this fast. I've been implicated because of Xiaoru's mess too. Several of my endorsements have already been cancelled. My manager just chewed me out. Things on my end are manageable, but the real killer is what's happening with our company. It's better to let her stay in there for now. Dad and I will look for an opportunity later to see if we can get her out. Don't panic. Get a good sleep first. I'm still in an emergency meeting here. I'll head home once I have some free time." Time skipped to Saturday, my welcome banquet. At this moment, the banquet at the Luo family manor hadn't even officially started, but guests were already gathering in droves. Glasses clinked as people mingled. Many were already busy expanding their business networks. I sat on the windowsill in my room, gazing at the distant scenery. Grandpa's words from noon echoed in my ears. "Xiao Chen, whatever you want to do, just go for it. Grandpa has your back." I unconsciously curled my lips into a smile, my thin lips parting slightly, as I murmured softly, "Brother, I'm home, and I'll take back your home for you too. Don't worry." A knock on the door interrupted me. Luo Yunshu pushed the door open and walked in, her brows furrowing slightly. Xiao Chen, why are you sitting on the windowsill? It's not safe. I'm fine. What's up, big sis? I hopped down from the sill and walked over to her. Luo Yunshu helplessly rubbed my head. I'm here to get you for your styling. Don't be so reckless next time. If you like windowsills so much, I'll have someone build you a wider bay window, okay? Thanks, big sis. The two of us walked into the walk-in closet. Today she had specifically hired a highly renowned stylist in the industry, Victoria. Victoria was a mixed-race beauty, a stunning blonde with blue eyes. As soon as she got a clear look at my face, she was stunned, freezing in place. After recovering, she immediately stepped forward and gave me a light hug. Oh my god. Honey, you are way too gorgeous. Just looking at your face makes my inspiration explode. You are literally my muse. Luo Yunshu reached out and pulled her away. Time to work. Keep your hands to yourself, Victoria pouted. Are all older sisters this protective? When your brother starts dating, you're gonna die of anger. I obediently sat in the chair, letting Victoria work her magic, my ears filled with her constant chatter. Honey, your foundation is absolutely top tier. This little face doesn't have a single flaw. And this skin is just incredible. It feels so smooth. I think your sister just wants to ruin my reputation. In her dreams, I'm definitely going to make you stun the entire crowd. This haute couture suit, it's practically tailor-made for you. Absolutely stunning. Over an hour later, after the styling was done, Victoria stood in front of me with her arms crossed, staring at the result with a satisfied look. Honey, can I be your personal stylist? Free of charge and on-call 24/7. How about it? But I don't get styled very often. I smiled helplessly. Victoria gave me a wicked smirk. That's fine. Anytime, anywhere works for me. Like when you get married in the future. I felt a bit awkward. We'll see about the styling, but we can definitely be friends. I'd love nothing more. We exchanged contact info, and it took quite some effort to finally see Victoria off. I stood upstairs, expressionless, looking down at those three hypocritical faces below. These past few days, the Song family had been in deep water, with back-to-back contract cancellations, plus the empty contract with Avril earlier, where they dumped a massive amount of funds. Song's building materials was now nothing but an empty shell. Their status had plummeted to a third-rate family. When they first received the Luo family's invitation, Song Yang was still scheming to use the Avril partnership network to squeeze his way into the upper-class circle. But now, he only wanted to use the banquet to cling to a few partners and kiss up to some big shots. Song Yang brought Wang Linlin and Song Xingqi to the Luo family estate. Before entering, he leaned in and whispered to Song Xingqi, "You must get on the good side of the Luo family's young master. Make sure to build a good relationship with him, and the daughters of the Luo family's eldest son too. Whether it's the Gu family or the Luo family, as long as you latch onto one of them, our family can make a comeback. Xiaoqi, you've always been my pride and joy. Don't let me down." A hint of absolute determination flashed in Song Xingqi's eyes. "Don't worry, Dad. I'll definitely take our family to the next level." As soon as they walked in, the three members of the Song family were met with a barrage of mocking and disdainful glares. Song Yang tried to strike up a conversation with his former business partner, but was brushed off with excuses one by one. His face instantly turned ashen. The family of three could only shrink back into a corner in disgrace. Song Xingqi linked arms with him to comfort him. "Dad, this little scene is nothing. Our target isn't them. As long as we win over the Luo family's young master and missus, they'll naturally come crawling back to us shamelessly." The pent-up frustration in Song Yang's chest dissipated a bit. He raised his hand and gently patted his son's hand. "You're right. You have to perform well tonight." Suddenly, everyone's gaze shifted in unison toward the entrance. The venue immediately erupted in an uproar. That person actually came. At normal banquets, even the others rarely show their faces. This time, all four members of the family are here. Elder Gu even showed up in person, as expected of the Luo family. It looks like the status of the Luo family's young master needs to be elevated even higher. Not to mention the Luo family. They also have the Gu family backing them. How can we even compare? Wealthy families are strict about class hierarchy. Legitimate children of the same tier generally stick together and exclude outsiders. The Gu and Luo families appeared even more unreachable. The only ones who could mingle with them were the top-tier families, the young ladies and masters of the Su, Chu, and Lin families. And these three families happened to be the maiden homes of the three madams. Moreover, they were only slightly lacking in financial power. The Su family was a lineage of scholars, the Chu family was in politics, and the Lin family was in the military. They still firmly held the top three spots among the first-tier families. Not to mention, they knew their boundaries. They never used the names of the two major families to throw their weight around outside. They managed their internal affairs harmoniously, so they interacted with each other more frequently. Today, Gu Shiwan was wearing a smoky gray suit dress, her long hair neatly tied up behind her head. She still wore that string of black prayer beads on her left wrist. She gave off an incredibly cold vibe, radiating an aura of absolute asceticism. At this moment, her gaze swept back and forth across the hall, as if she were looking for someone. Perhaps failing to find her target, she lowered her eyes in disappointment and pulled out her phone. At 7 p.m., the lights in the banquet hall gradually dimmed, leaving only the spotlight on the stage shining brightly. Grandpa and Grandma, dressed in traditional Tang suits, walked to the front of the stage. Grandpa raised the microphone. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend my precious grandson's welcome banquet. The beloved grandson our Luo family has been searching for over the past 15 years has finally returned. Today, we mainly want to formally introduce him to everyone. My grandson just returned to the country and is unfamiliar with the people and the place. I hope this old face of mine still carries some weight so that my precious grandson won't be bullied. In Jing City, why did this speech sound more like a threat and a warning? The guests below the stage applauded one after another, constantly echoing their agreement. Hilarious. Who would dare bully your grandson? Is he someone we could even mess with? I'm afraid before we even make a move, we'd be strangled to death by his own hands. The spotlight on the staircase lit up. I walked down the stairs, step by step, arm in arm with my parents. The rest of the family stood to the side, watching with eyes full of joy. The young man's skin was as white as snow. Those uniquely captivating fox-like eyes tilted up slightly at the corners. His nose was straight and tall, and his thin lips were naturally full. Every frown and smile carried the charm of an Eastern gentleman. His textured hair was styled with clear layers. The champagne-colored slim-fit suit he wore accentuated his sharp figure, simple yet exuding in noble elegance. Good lord, did he specifically inherit all the best features of the Luo couple? He looks like an immortal descending to earth. Gu Shiwen gazed at the person on the stairs, the doting look in her eyes, something even she hadn't noticed. I only let go of my parents when I reached Grandpa's side, turning to link arms with Grandpa and Grandma instead. I spoke into the microphone. Hello, everyone. I am Luo Yichen. The crowd below applauded once again. Hey, I wasn't finished speaking yet. I shot Grandpa a helpless look. Am I supposed to keep talking or not? Grandpa gently patted my hand and pressed his hands down in the air to quiet the crowd. Today, there is one more thing to announce. Many of you know that, after my wife and I stepped down, we still held 15% of the Luo Group's shares. Now, this 15% of shares in our hands will be entirely transferred to my precious grandson. The entire hall instantly erupted in shock. Many onlookers immediately glanced at the rest of the Luo family, waiting for their reactions, but their expectations were in vain. The family members' faces showed nothing but affection, joy, and happiness. There wasn't a single trace of jealousy or anger. If you said they were acting, then the entire Luo family should collectively debut in the entertainment industry. This decision was actually made right when he was born. We originally wanted to wait until his coming-of-age ceremony to give it to him as an adulthood gift. Now, it's a year late, but better late than never. My grandson has built his own career while away all these years, and the scale is quite impressive. But what I want to tell him is that he will always be a member of the Luo family. The Luo family stands behind him. All of this is what he rightfully deserves. As he spoke, Grandpa affectionately rubbed my head. Next, I hope everyone enjoys the banquet to the fullest. Please forgive any shortcomings in our hospitality. As soon as I stepped off the stage, the Gu family of 4 came over to greet us. Elder Gu stepped forward first, patting Grandpa on the shoulder like old buddies. Then he smiled and looked at me. Our Xiao Chen has grown up to be so handsome. You look like a little fairy boy when you were young. My surname is Gu. You used to call me Grandpa Gu. This is Uncle Gu and Aunt Lin. I smiled and greeted them. Hello, Grandpa Gu. Hello, Uncle Gu, Aunt Lin. But I deliberately treated Gu Shiwan, who was standing right there, like thin air. Mother Gu smiled, her eyes curving into crescents. She grabbed my hand. Good boy, you're so incredibly handsome. Grandma raised her index finger and gently tapped my forehead. And what about Aunt Lin's daughter? She's a bit older than you. You should call her Sister Shiwan. I raised an eyebrow, smiled, and played along. Hello, Sister Shiwan. Hello there. Little brother Yichin. Gu Shiwan deliberately emphasized the last, her tone wrapped in a gentle, lingering affection. The 3 Gu family elders quietly exchanged glances, then smiled in tacit understanding. Mother Gu simply suggested, you young people have more to talk about. Why don't you go hang out together? Grandpa felt something was off and was about to intervene when Elder Gu raised his hand to stop him. Old Luo. Let's go chat with Old Su and the others. Those old geezers all showed up today. Let's go. Gu Shiwan lowered her eyes and looked at me. Little brother Yichin. I tilted my head and smiled, curling my lips. I'm afraid that won't work. Gorgeous. Gu Shiwan followed my gaze and looked over. The 7 sisters from the Luo and Su families were marching toward us with murderous intent. Damn, I miscalculated. I forgot about these roadblocks. Yunshu walked up to my side, holding a glass of orange juice. Aunt Wang prepared this for you. It's the brand you bought and put in the fridge before. She was worried you wouldn't be used to drinking anything else. Thanks, big sis. And thanks to Aunt Wang. I took the orange juice and took a sip, my face full of satisfaction. Seeing me take it, she then turned to Gu Shiwan. Aren't you busy, A1? How do you have time to come over today? Gu Shiwan's expression remained unchanged. She calmly took a sip of red wine. Xiao Chen's welcome banquet is so important. Of course I had to be here. Chu Muxuan, who had brought his sister over to join the fun, couldn't help but sweat drop. Big sis, could your skin be any thicker? The 7 sisters from the Luo and Su families immediately caught on. They all stared at Gu Shiwan with high alert. Beside them, Lin Chen couldn't wait any longer. He had been on a business trip recently, so he hadn't seen the trending photos online at all. He came to attend the Luo family's young master's welcome banquet, purely to show his respect to the Luo family. The outside world had never seen any photos of this young master. Who would have thought that the Luo family's young master was actually the mentor and savior he had been searching for over the past 2 years? So, Lin Chen suddenly rushed forward. Professor Luo, long time no see. I'm so happy to see you again. The 7 Luo and Su sisters, who were just unilaterally ready for a fight, froze on the spot. Professor Luo what? Luo what Fesser? Who in the Luo family are you calling a professor? Only Gu Shiwan seemed to understand something. She glanced at me, who was still in a daze. He's actually a professor, and he even taught her cousin, who was only a few months older than him. I stared at the person in front of me, unable to recall who he was. Sorry, who are you? Lin Chen hurriedly explained, I'm Lin Chen. At Roster Academy, I managed to snag a spot in your class for a semester. Back then, when I ran into danger off campus, you were the one who saved me. I frantically flipped through my memories and finally put a name to the face. 2 years ago, I was tricked by that white-bearded guy from the teaching committee and was forced to teach a class for a semester. There was a Chinese boy in that class who sat in the front row every single lecture. His GPA was always #1. Once I ran into him getting mugged outside a small tavern off campus. I helped him get his bag back and beat up the muggers while I was at it. Oh, it's you. I didn't expect to see you again. I smiled at him. Lin Chen couldn't hide the joy in his eyes. I graduated last year. Now I'm helping my family manage the company. Luo Yunxi looked confused and interjected. Wait a minute. What professor? Xiao Chen. Why didn't you tell us? Lin Chen also didn't expect the Luo family to be in the dark. He shot me a tentative look. Seeing me nod, he quickly explained. Professor Luo took 3 years, and at just 16 years old, he earned his Ph. from Roster Academy. He even became one of the only 2 tenured honorary professors at Roster Academy. If you don't believe me, you can check their official website. Although there's no photo, it has his name and age. I shrugged my shoulders. Ah, that's pretty much it. I didn't mention it before because I didn't think it was necessary. It's not that big of a deal anyway. The sisters were all completely stunned. Aren't you being a little too ridiculously calm? Snapping back to reality, they all started praising. Brother Xiao Chen is amazing. The other guests were chatting on the surface, but their attention was entirely focused on our side. Hearing this conversation, they were all dumbfounded. Many immediately pulled out their phones and opened the Roster Academy website. Sure enough, under the lifelong honorary professors section, they saw it. Luo Yichen, 19 years old, young master of the Luo family. He was the only one in Jing City's wealthy circle who had ever been admitted to Roster Academy. After graduating, he expanded the Luo family's company significantly. People used to talk about this all the time. There was also the eldest daughter of the Gu family, but she didn't go. But now you're telling me, this is a 16-year-old PhD and a lifelong honorary professor. That's Roster, for crying out loud. The top international academy. Do you have to humble brag this hard, and you say it's no big deal? And also, are you sisters seriously not shocked at all? Are you just blindly praising him? This brother complex is terrifying. When the news reached the ears of the elders, they only paused for a brief moment. They quickly recovered, their eyes filled with nothing but pride and glory. Just then, Butler Zhang walked up to Grandpa, leaned in, and whispered a few words. Grandpa's expression suddenly turned strange. A few of his old buddies noticed something was off. Just as they were about to ask, he stood up. You guys keep chatting. I have some business to attend to. Excuse me. The crowd didn't ask too many questions. Old Master Gu added, if you can't handle it, just say the word. Grandpa waved his hand and walked toward the entrance. At the same time, a middle-aged man walked in, supporting a man in his 70s. Everyone who recognized them was stunned. The former principal of Jing University and the Jing City Police Chief. Why are they here together? The Han family was a top-tier family in Jing City, but they had always kept a low profile. They rarely made public appearances, let alone attend social banquets. The old principal had been in office for nearly 40 years. His students were truly all over the world. Everyone had heard rumors about him to some extent, but aside from Grandpa, no one in the Luo family had attended Jing University. The young ladies were also alumni of other prestigious schools. To think they actually managed to invite him. After I got a clear look at the arrivals, I lowered my head and smiled bitterly. Excuse me for a moment. With that, I immediately strode over to greet them. The people next to me didn't even have time to stop me. Only Gu Shiwan remained motionless, her eyes following my back the entire time. The other guests stared at me like I was an idiot, cursing in their heads. Is he crazy? If you want to show off, this is definitely not the time. Do you even know them? How dare you just walk up to them? The police chief is standing right there. Chief Han stood rooted to the spot, his expression practically screaming. No thanks. I wouldn't dare stop him. I can't beat him anyway. This guy is my boss. But the very next scene shocked them so hard their jaws dropped to the floor. I completely bypassed Chief Han and supported the old principal's other arm. I glared at Elder Han in exasperation. You actually came here in person? Elder Han shot me a sideways glance. If I didn't come, when would I ever get to see you? You sent an invitation to that brat, but not to me. Chief Han looked incredibly smug. So I guess he's your biological son then. Didn't I save a copy for you too? Besides, I told you not to come. Since you insisted on coming, don't blame me if you get sworn by your students later. Elder Han glared at me. You had him pass it to me. Zero sincerity. What am I? This old man? Really that annoying to you? You didn't even want me to come. Don't think I don't know what you're scheming. I felt a bit helpless. If you already know, then why? I came here today to back you up. Just go ahead and do what you need to do. If the Luo family blames you for this, just come home with me and be my grandson. Even though my Han family isn't as powerful as the Luo family, you'll definitely be treated no worse than you are here. Besides, my students are all over the world, in every industry. You think I can't protect you? Chief Han was secretly thrilled on the sidelines. Yes, double the backup. I silently complained in my head. The generations are all messed up. This is way too ridiculous. If you're so tough, go say that to my grandpa. After saying that, I jutted my chin toward Grandpa, who was hurrying over. Elder Han angrily raised his left hand and smacked Chief Han hard. Ha! Why wouldn't I dare? I let go of Elder Han and took a few steps toward Grandpa. Grandpa, slow down. He's right here. He's not going anywhere. Grandpa raised his hand and lightly tapped my head. Watch your mouth. Don't be so rude. Elder Han extended his right hand to Grandpa. Old Luo. It's fine. It's fine. This kid has always been casual with me. But why does it sound like you're showing off? Grandpa shook his hand. Principal Han, my grandson is a bit mischievous. Please don't mind him. Elder Han looked Grandpa straight in the eye. Ha, it's fine. I actually like his attitude. I came today because I was worried about him. I wanted to back him up. Grandpa didn't shy away either. What are you saying? Our whole family loves and cherishes him more than anything. We will always stand by his side. The two elders just stared at each other like that, as if they were the only two people left in the room. The banquet hall fell completely silent, as if reaching some sort of unspoken agreement. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Only then did they let go. Then I'll be intruding today. Not at all. Why don't we head over here for some tea? A few of my old friends are here too. Grandpa raised his hand, giving me a reassuring look. Elder Han nodded. That sounds wonderful. Xiao Chen, I'll head over first. All right, you two take your time. I watched helplessly as these two old kids, who were about to throw hands just a second ago, were now acting like blood brothers. As soon as they left, Chief Han sneaked over suspiciously. When do we make our move? I shot him a side eye. Teach, you're a police chief. Why do you look so sneaky? Don't rush. Call your guys in and let them eat first. Ah, no need. We're on the clock right now. It's Saturday. You're making them work overtime and you're this righteous about it? I'm not as wicked as you. Just bring them in. They're in plain clothes anyway. What are you afraid of? Chief Han grumpily pulled out his phone to send the order. You really are my boss. I'd love to, but your dad might not agree. All right, you go do your thing too. The main actors haven't even taken the stage yet. As soon as I said that, I locked eyes with Jiang Yuning in the crowd. I stepped forward and walked toward my eldest sister, and Gu Shiwan. Left hanging, Chief Han had no choice but to go meet up with his subordinates. The plainclothes officers who were called in kept exchanging secret glances. Chief, what's the meaning of this? Weren't we here to make an arrest? Why are we at a banquet now? Don't overthink it. Just eat your fill first. I wouldn't mind taking a few more assignments like this. Seeing that I was fine earlier, my sisters had stopped in their tracks. After they dispersed, only my eldest sister and Gu Shiwan were left chatting in the same spot. Catching me approaching from the corner of their eyes, their previously indifferent expressions softened into smiles. My eldest sister reached out, rubbed my head, and asked, Xiao Chen, how do you know the old principal of Jing University?